Hello and welcome. I am DM Leech, also known as the Last Hit Point Hero, and you have found your way to my friends and I's favorite little corner of the internet, ours. We're so very glad you're here. Hope you enjoy your stay and have a little fun along the way. Over the course of the next several months, we will be working our way through the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure module Curse of Strahd. They have lost a child. Will they lose their lives? Time will tell if the light will ever shine again. First and foremost, no attempt to make this story child appropriate has occurred. While necessary changes to problematic elements within the material itself have been rewritten, this is still a dark and stormy gothic horror story. This actual play stream contains, well, depictions of violence, adult language like gore, homicide, patricide, suicide, child endangerment. Well, not as much child endangerment as a few weeks ago, but still some. And any number of other dark elements. Our players are here to bring the light. Safety tools are in place for the players here, but you as the viewer do not have such a luxury. If you know of any sensitivities to the listed topics, please keep a teleportation spell prepared and ready. Barring that readied action, kick back, relax, keep all heads, hands, paws, and claws inside the stream at all times, slap that follow button to join Strahd's growing horde, and above all else, be good. That's the rule. Be good. Say kindly, we are holding a giveaway for some wonderful, and they don't show up on stream that well, you'll have to find the feed, some lovely blood-splattered dice. So take a look at, I think I still have it saved right here. I do. The competition link is in chat. Slap that, join, do a few odds and ends, and you might be the lucky winner of these blood-splattered dice just in time for Halloween. We'll be announcing the winner in 2 weeks, which, as long as all goes well, we'll get them to you for your Halloween games. Thirth, the original of our wonderful artwork, also arrived in the mail.
Ooh.
I'm very excited that came all the way from the Maldives, and I don't know what to do with it yet, but players, so you know, I might be mailing it to you all for you to write your own names and your character names in the appropriate spot, just for fun.
Super cool.
It's very awesome. I'm so happy with it. Had that classic 30s and 40s horror look. Big thanks to Shaina Saeed, who did the painting. You can find her on Twitter at Zaya, that's at XIAI. She did some excellent work. Lastish, you may not know these amazing players, so let's change that. Everyone here will say hello, introduce themselves and their characters, plug other shows or projects they're participating in, games they play, and your favorite breakfast cereal, either now or as a child. So I always have to put just a little bit of a buffer in there to give Niffer a few moments to think.
Oh, I immediately know my favorite breakfast cereal. It's fine.
Well, good. Irreplaceability requires difference, uniqueness, value, and there can be no doubt that they are as irreplaceable as someone can be. It's NiferNif.
Hi, my favorite cereal is Captain Crunch and always has been and always will be. That's all. I am Niffer. I am playing Bright, the Tiefling Genasi Artificer, and I am also part of the Not Quite Heroes podcast. You can find us on Twitter at NQH Podcast. We are a real play 5e podcast, but we are taking a little side adventure into a new system pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. I play as equally of a dumbass character in that game as I do in this one. It's great. And I'm also part of Tabletop Galaxy, which is a Star Wars actual play podcast. And we play on alternating Wednesday nights. Come find us.
Fabulous.
In space.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Continuing around our top row, if you are in need of a powerhouse, a voice crying out from the rooftops that the world can be better, should be better, ought to be better, there is no one better. then the Noir Enigma.
Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm Noir. You can find me on all the socials as the Noir Enigma. Also on Mondays you can catch me over on Cobalt Press. We're doing lessons in deeper magic. This Monday, Dr. RPG returns, so we'll be taking your calls in characters and helping you get along with your party. This Sunday, we're gonna have the next episode of our Conspiracy in the Stars show over on LFM, and we're premiering next week Degrees of Madness, of Call of Cthulhu game with me and the fine folks from Perception Studios and Laugh Love Lindy. That's right, I'm playing Call of Cthulhu with puppets, so that's gonna be a good time.
Wow.
And as for my favorite cereal would have to be "Give Me Back My Son." I meant to say Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh. Well, setting that little thing aside, are you looking for strength and compassion wrapped in a compact package of goodness? Someone who I would describe as a power bar of friendship? Then I present to you Corndogg McGraw.
Friendship. The best cereal of all time has always been and will always be peanut butter crunch. Any way I can get peanut butter in my body, I will accept. And Corndogg McGraw, as was previously said, you can find me on Twitter, usually ripping into politicians or tweeting about playing RPGs. Other than that, yeah, just working, living life. Currently not at the gym as much as I want to be, thanks to a busted knee, but we'll get there. We'll be back. That's me.
Wonderful. Just below Corndogg, pumping out 365 days straight of DN daily content. Willpower and commitment manifested in the form of a man, the human incarnation of inspiration. It's 1 in 20, D&D.
Yeah, it still boggles my mind. That was a challenge that I gave to myself, and wow, you can check them out on YouTube. So if you're interested, 1 in 20 D&D, that's me. I'm also Gregory Festo on Twitter, so you can ask me anything about Dungeons and Dragons or TTRPGs, and I'll do my best. Well, at the very least, I'll give you my personal opinion and hopefully a knowledgeable information as well. Yeah, I've been playing this game a long time. I love it. I'm thrilled to be finally getting to go up again. Well, no, that's not fair because I have played Ravenloft, but that was in like 2nd edition. So this is a whole new game for me. Now, as far as cereal goes, oof. So here's the thing. I don't really eat cereal anymore. However, when I was younger, I didn't really have a favorite because I ate like lots. Frosted Flakes, of course, because Tony the Tiger is awesome. Lucky Charms. I liked Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Pretty much if it was sugary, I ate it, which is terrible. And yeah, nowadays I don't eat any of that stuff anymore. So, I don't miss it, but it's hard to pick which my favorite was. I'd probably have to say, if I could only pick one, I'd probably end up going with Frosted Flakes. And as far as the best cereal in the galaxy, maybe you'll have to tune into our Tabletop Galaxy Second Sunrise stream and find out, because I get to play some cool stuff with Nifer, and we love it. And there's all kinds of other fun stuff I'm doing, so just hit me up and you'll find out on social media.
The best cereal in the galaxy is served with blue milk.
Definitely.
It's necessary. That's how you know it's space milk. It has to be blue. And last but not least, next to me in the bottom row, a man who showed me a world bigger than my own small town. A picture of patience and friendship from a big city family man. He'll help you see what flies and what falls flat. It's Robotic, gentlemen.
Hi everyone. I'm just gonna say straight up, Lucky Charms every day for like the last 15 years. I do not have any other projects on the side, social media wise, like you said, because Too busy raising 3 boys every day. However, when Street Fighter V comes out on PS Plus, I hope I catch you in randoms and you can destroy me pretty quickly because I've never played it before.
It's
Good
that
job,
level of
everybody,
confidence.
getting different cereals,
Mhm.
by the way.
I think we did. I mean, there were some subclasses of cereal that were crossed over, but generally speaking,
It's all about
Those are
grape
pretty-
nuts. That's all I.
oh, that's
What?
it. Rocks fall,
Sugar,
beat
sugar,
dies.
sugar.
Yeah, I mean, dude, grape nuts with like a tablespoon of sugar or something.
That's
I've never heard of those.
I want my son
It's-
back.
It's like it's
Yeah,
like
probably
grinding
better
up
that
the
way.
cereal box.
Yeah, grape
Ugh.
nuts are kind of. They were like before there was like decent, good
Real food.
granola cereal. That was the idea of like a healthy cereal, but it was
I'm
just.
trying to find the old box.
Oh,
Joy.
Well,
Also,
they
aren't
did.
grape nuts just like raisins?
They were like break your teeth crunchy cereal that like only were good. I was sort of joking, but not really. They were only good if you like poured like a pound of honey on it or a scoop, like a huge scoop of sugar, and let them get soggy. Like every other cereal, you're like, don't let it get soggy because that's just the worst. Grape nuts was the exception. It was like it was only edible when it was like really soaked with milk.
Leave it there for like 20 minutes and then come back to your breakfast.
Exactly.
I ain't got that time. No.
I love how if you Google grape nuts, the first thing that comes up was what are grape nuts?
That's funny.
Well, that is all of us. Thank you for joining us, and I believe that we have a summary of the recovered, by the way, at least the audio, episode 6, which you can still catch on the Twitch channel and will be on YouTube probably about the same time that this one goes on. So, if you missed out, or if you would like caught up with where we are so far, we have wonderful NiferNif providing the summary.
Hello. In the happy journal, as a sign of happier times, I hope. I have been titling all of these episodes, by the way, and I'm just gonna publicly shout out that this one is called Sins of the Fathers. I do what I want. Noir's gonna just murder me now. It's fine. Our hero's attempts to bring home hope to the lands of Barovia have taken a darker turn. Saul managed to finish his prayers to the Morning Lord, reconsecrating the village of Barovia's graveyard. But safely within its borders, the party and their acquaintances Ismark and Arena had to listen to a visage of Lord Strahd give ominous threats. Returning to the graveyard's temples, its priest Father Donovich was in even worse shape than when the group first met him. He begged the party to fix his son, but Bright shared her suspicions that young Doru was a baby vampire and beyond their help. Uther and Tobias the baby stayed with the priest, but the rest of the party entered the basement to address the vampire. Doru proved too vicious for the party, gravely injuring Ficus in just one turn. Leaf managed to chain the vampire spawn up and restrain him, and Uther left Tobias with Arena and rushed down to haul Doru all the way to the consecrated cemetery. Everyone followed to watch Doru burn except Bright, who was the only one to notice that Irina's arms were now empty.
That is
And
a wonderful
then
summary.
there was a lot of yelling.
There was a great deal of yelling.
There's a lot of yelling.
Yes, definitely was a lot of yelling. But we started to dial down a bit. It took our half-hour debrief afterwards to talk Noir down, and he's still on the edge. But that's all right.
Technically,
Technically.
Technically,
Uther doesn't know yet.
Uther does
Right.
not know.
No! So we need to get to the point where Uther knows so Noir doesn't have an aneurysm.
Alright. So
I have
We-
things to do before he can have an aneurysm. It's fine.
we are going to pick up at the church itself. And where we're going to pick up is essentially all of the group except for Bright has worked together in order to pull the vampire spawn Duro out of the chapel and into the consecrated graveyard, where these pulses of light are the reconsecrated graveyard's pulses of light are burning him away. So in the midst of your final struggles with him, we have Bright, who came up to the window that Irina was standing at with her arms outstretched. And as you approach Bright, what you notice is part of the scarves that you had on your skirt that you used to swaddle Tobias when you were in Death House. She has one of those gripped in her fist, and you can just hear her, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Where is he? What did you do?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
What did you do? I'm
She
literally grabbing her.
she's like allows herself to be pulled part of the way out the window. Ismark comes up behind her and kind of puts a hand on her shoulder. Sister, what happened? I'm sorry. It was like before. He spoke and I couldn't.
Where is the baby?
He was with someone. I don't know who. I couldn't see them. They had a
Who was
cloak
with someone?
over them. This Lord Strahd. He came and he told me to give the baby to this figure, and I have so much trouble remembering my memory. It's like joy mixed with the fuzziness of something wrong. It's
an old woman. Did you give it to Grammy Morga?
I don't know who it was. I couldn't see their face. I couldn't refuse. They took the baby and they put him in a cart and rolled into the mists.
I'm running away down the road.
So where the chapel is set in the village of Barovia, and where she's pointing, not too far away to the west is where the woods of the Svalage Woods kind of begin. Even though it's 2:30 in the afternoon, you are a native of Barovia, and you know that generally speaking, running into the woods by yourself is a very bad idea.
It's not the woods. It's down the path where she came from.
So she left toward the woods and disappeared into the mist. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Why would you do this?
I had no choice. I tried.
Yes, you did. You always have a choice. That is the first thing about being a person in Barovia, and you know this better than anyone.
Ismark kind of tries to comfort his sister. This is not the first time. It was against her will. She was forced. I'm sorry, the child is gone. I truly am, but you certainly can't blame her for this.
Even if I don't, I know who will, and so do you.
Then
so do you want to deal with Uther, or do I?
You're one of the people. Perhaps Mother Eva could help us. She knows, she sees, she could guide us to where this child is. Right? All we hear in the village are the tales of Mother Eva's brilliance. All we hear are
Do you
the
want to deal
stories.
with Uther, or do I?
I don't think either of us can do this alone. I just want an
If
option.
he finds out that we do not have his child,
I don't know. I think we both need to. Will you help me? It's not... Irina's just crying into her hands at this point. It's not her fault.
I reach up and I grab the scarf back from her, and I put it back on my skirts.
She doesn't resist you taking it from her at all. And, I was gonna put you on the church and didn't. And, releases it to you. And she just sits down on Father Donovich's bed, sobbing.
I'm gonna light up my hands with Produce Flame, and just kind of like walk as far towards the mists as I can to see if there's any clues or any like footprints or cart prints.
You can do either survival, perception, or investigation. It's your choice.
I'd love to do investigation, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. 13.
So at 13, you look around and you are able to see a point in which there are wheel marks in the dirt, just the regular grassy dirt of Barovia, and you see that they head toward the woods, and right before they reach the woods, the cart tracks stop. And as you get to the end of the cart tracks, you're probably a half dozen feet away from the edge of the Svalich woods where it really begins in earnest, and swirling within the trees itself is a green fog. The green fog that you know so very well.
Well, I can't go into that. I'm just gonna go to the rest of the group then.
So, as you walk back toward the chapel, and as you walk back, that's when the group itself is coming back. I think we've lost Noir.
Good. This
think he
is
just
when we
turned
tell
off the
him
camera.
that he.
Oh, he'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be
This
right
is
back.
when
You
we
might be
tell
getting
him.
that fried chicken from
That's-
Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
grabbing his dinner.
currently we have Robotic Gentleman playing Uther, and,
Yep.
and
As the cameras
Noir's playing
reshuffle.
Solaire.
All right. So this is when I'm going to tell Uther so that we don't have to deal with Noir just screaming for. Oh dang it!
When did Uther? Oh, there, never
So
mind.
all of you, all of you, come back to the chapel doors at the same time, and come back together. And so the group that was with Doro, as you arrive, Bright is walking back. It's easy to see that she is distressed.
Can you move Leaf out into the church or to the grounds?
I can't.
I'm stuck in the basement.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
It's all right. I don't mind. I was the last one out. That's fair.
Stuck in the basement.
So we're
So-
back, is what I'm hearing.
Yep, you guys all make it back to the chapel doors.
Leaf wouldn't go straight back.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
So, once we dealt with, sorry, is it Duro?
Yes.
Doru.
Doru. Sorry, Doru. Okay, so once we dealt with Doru, Leaf is going to look around for the sort of the largest, healthiest tree on the property, if there is one.
In the cemetery or in the graveyard, there are a couple trees. One of them is a burnt husk right now because that is the one that was
Yeah,
caught on
not that
fire.
one.
But there's a decent tree over there. Yeah.
So he's gonna go over to the. He sort of looks to the others and will say like, "I'll be with you in a moment," and he's gonna walk over. No, you know what? We need to deal with the father first. He'll do it later. So he will go back with the group.
All right.
Yeah,
He has
Uther's-
something to do, but he wants to deal with Father Donovich first.
Yeah,
Sure.
Uther's just making a beeline for Arena.
I'm like in the doorway and trying to like back up with him and just being like, I don't know what to say, but I do just kind of like hold out Tobias's swaddling blanket / scarf.
Where is the baby?
Uther doesn't say anything and he makes a beeline towards Arena.
I'm accompanying.
So-
Axe in hand.
You make it to the same room that. Well, I guess I should ask, which room do you go to? You don't know where she is.
Oh, okay, in that case, Arena!
You hear Ismark comes to the door. He's like, Uther, listen very carefully. I am so sorry to be the one to tell you this. But this is not Irina's fault. The boy is gone.
What? I'm sorry.
I
What
left.
do you mean?
I
What
left.
are you talking about?
Now! Like he yells at
That's fine.
Leaf like he is.
When Sol heard that, he started heading towards Noir because he
Okay.
believes he's the only one who can hold him back
Okay.
physically.
I left my son with Arena and you. When you came down, I told you you weren't necessary, and you stayed regardless. Where is my son?
You have not been in these lands long enough to blame us for the evil that plagues it. You cannot look at the few who care enough to fight against this darkness and expect us to stand against
am
a
hearing
700-year-old
from a dead
vampire?
man. I am hearing excuses from a dead man.
Then
I
you
put
would be
an
a
arm in front of this
fool.
one.
I would like to rage.
I put an arm.
Oh, did you even still have rages left today?
No,
Yeah,
but
actually,
Eternity gives him an extra one.
Oh Lord.
So, when Uther rages, the spirits of his ancestors manifest, correct?
And the mother, yeah.
So, the spirit of Margaret manifests, and
Oh no.
this is her form and what you've seen. Margaret, even when she became part of your spiritual ancestors, maintained her pleasant form, the lovely servant girl. But when she comes out, you can see a change that begins to take place. You see ghostly visage grow more shallow. You see her eyes grow dark, and you hear her open her mouth to absolutely howl at hearing the news that the child is gone. And this scream cuts through you. She turns to Uther, and you hear from her voice, "You lost him." And she flies through the wall out toward the west. Ismark, seeing all of that, looks at you and goes, "There is evil in this world that forces those against who they are. And if you are a fool that blames the victim, then you might kill me, but you'd be a fool killing a friend trying to help."
I told you how you could help. You chose otherwise. You chose death.
That's
ran
irrelevant. They
behind
still
and-
haven't answered the question, Uther. Where is Tobias the Mote in the Darkness? Tell us now.
Lord Strahd cast a spell over my sister and forced her to hand him to a creature. I don't know. It was some bent figure with a cart
Where? Where did this happen?
at the window.
Leaf,
They went west.
Leaf just like turns on
At
his
the
heel
where?
and goes out to
The
the.
window.
The window. Okay.
Leaf's gonna literally run outside to the window.
So the window, it leads through the roughage, the grass of Barovia, leads out to the west. Not oh so far away as the edge of the Svalich Woods itself.
Is it obvious to him? Like, did he say a cart? Sorry, Gregory remembers the cart, but
Yes.
did Leaf know there was a cart? Okay, so he's immediately like scanning the ground looking for tracks.
Alright, make a survival check.
Certainly. $13 or 13.
So you look down and you see definitely these parallel tracks. They definitely come from a cart, not a large cart, probably a push cart of some kind. And as you follow them toward the woods, if you follow them,
Now, does the spacing between the wheels seem reminiscent of Grammy Morga's wagon?
at a 13, I wouldn't give you a straight connection to that exact size.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that is the only cart that you would have seen. It wouldn't be unreasonable to make that connection.
Okay.
And you do see that the 2 tracks lead toward the woods. They disappear just before they reach the woods.
What
and
are the
there's a green fog swirling in the woods.
are there footprints in? So there should be in between the 2 wheel tracks. There should also be footprints pushing or pulling this thing.
At a 13, yeah, there's footprints, but they're not particular. I mean, you can see that there
Just
are prints.
it's humanoid.
There's
There's
just-
not
There's
enough.
humanoid prints. There's only one set of humanoid prints.
Okay. All right. So Leaf's probably gonna spend a couple minutes with that. So whatever else everybody else is doing.
He's just looking. He's looking like past the dude in front of him, straight to Arena.
So Irina steps forward. She looks up at you, and you can see that she has been crying, and not just like a little tears. I mean, cheeks are streaked. And she looks at you and says, I don't have the words it takes to say how sorry I am.
I asked you the nature of your relationship with Strahd. You chose to play games and to keep secrets. I asked you to do one thing, and I told you the consequence for failing was that I would burn your world to the ground. Did you think that my threat was idle?
What I can tell you, and this is the full truth of it, for some reason, Lord Strahd has shown interest in me. I don't know. No one has been able to tell me why. And in the last few days, he has been able to come and gesture for me to follow after him. And I do. I don't want to. But I do. And it happened.
At that, Uther will take a dagger and gently point it towards
Nope.
Arena's neck and go,
I'm in
Strahd,
between.
come and give me back what is mine.
I'm in between.
So,
Nope. I'm in between.
Soul's also moving in the way. Uther, you can't do this. I am not going to let you sit here and take an innocent life.
If we
The
had
child-
her, then the Lord of the Land will come and he will not be kind.
I don't care for his kindness. I care for my boy.
And how would your death help your boy?
I will eat the heart from Strahd.
Then my brother is right. You're a fool. You don't understand what you're dealing with, and you're not taking the time to look.
What I understand
Yeah,
is
help
that this
me,
land breeds cowards.
I sent Stanimir to find people that could help, that could reach into the darkness in a way we can't. Do you understand what he put at risk? Ask her what he put at risk. He points to Bright. Says, what happens when the Vistani, who are protected in this place, turn their back on their patron? Do you think her family would survive? Do you know what Stanimir risked by bringing you here? Do you understand that there are things going on bigger than you? Or are you trapped in your little world that your problems are the biggest?
This land breeds cowards. My people would fight to the death before we would bow and run to someone else to solve our problems.
Then find the barbarians of the mountains and ask them what happened to their family. Find the elves that stood against him. See what they have to say. This land, in our legends, was beautiful. There's only one that can point you in the right direction. Take me to see Mother Eva, and we will find a way to make this right. Not just something as small as your boy being lost. But she points out the chapel doors, but all of their children who have been lost the years. 700 years of oppression, and all you can think about is yours. You may not be the people I needed Stanimir to bring to me.
I bled for you and your people, merely for the joy of fighting an immortal. I don't want to hear about your suffering. I don't want to hear about 700 years of your subjugation that you accepted.
I accept.
You had one responsibility. One!
So it's that easy to overthrow those in power. All it takes is a little pushback. It takes much of that, you foolish Galant.
Where was this
It
heart when your
takes
master came?
knowledge.
Where was this courage when he had you cow down like a dog and give him my boy? Where was that fight then?
She starts crying. So you blame me because I couldn't stand against a spell. So I'm at fault.
I blame
When
you
he cast
because
the
you
charm.
weren't honest enough to tell us the situation between you and him in the first place. I blame you because we asked for you to give us truth and you chose to play games. I blame you because you have done nothing but ask of us and us and us since we got here. And the only thing we asked in return, you failed at.
I have known you for a half hour, you bitter Galant. A half hour. That's how long you've been in my life.
And yet you
Stanimir
said
said you could be strong enough. Stanimir said you could bring light. Stanimir said you could. You might. He was guided there by Mother Eva's sight. And Mother Eva's sight can give you what you need to destroy this darkness over this land. But it won't happen by knocking on his door.
Uther, I have found the trail. Not all is lost. You know, obviously, the baby is not dead because, well,
because why?
it's a bargaining chip. That's my guess.
We will follow these tracks. We will go to this Mother Eva, and so help me God, if my son is dead, I will rip your head off and use it as a chamber pot, and I promise you that this is not an idle threat. This is a promise, and I will flay. And he looks at old boy with the great sword, and I will flay him and use him for tissue.
Well and good, well and good. Leaf is gonna walk by Uther and I want to check on Donovich.
Donovich is unconscious at the altar.
Okay, I look to Solaire, and I'm looking around for Ficus Fig also. Is she?
Ficus is just chilling,
She's
I think
been
we're all in the
just
room.
listening.
standing back. I mean,
What up?
she had 11 of her hit points, so like a third of who she could be now. Actually, significantly more than that, taken from her.
Right.
So she's kind of like dealing with the fact that she physically feels
weak.
very weak.
Cool. And how about Solaire? So I mean, obviously we don't see facial features, but what's his
No,
he
Soul's
interposed
perfectly-
himself between Uther and Ismark
Yeah.
and Irina.
He's perfectly fine, but obviously we spent a lot of power just trying to take out a weak vampire in a basement. So, I used up a lot of my spells. So I'm gonna
Leaf's
say
Leaf's gonna
Oh.
point to Father Donovich. What are we going to do with the priest? Does he know? Does he know the fate of his son?
No, not yet. Well, he knew what was going to happen.
Leaf's shaking his head, and he just like addresses everyone. He says, "There is much not right in this land, and I pray that we might be strong enough to put things right. There was a tree out in the yard. I shall be there for a time. When you're ready, we can leave and follow these tracks." And he's going to walk out of the church.
Ismark turns to Irina, and everybody who's standing by can hear it perfectly fine. He mostly whispers to her, I cannot leave you with these people. They can't take you to the city. We know that he won't protect you. He couldn't protect his friend in the basement, one of Strahd's under. Standemir said they could protect you. They can't.
They're egging him on at this point. They're like, he's gonna swing. Like, they're egging him on.
Once they give like that sideways comment.
I'm in between, so good luck.
When I hear the sideways comment about, or like when Ficus hears the sideways comment about her, she's like slowly been making her way up to the group, but feels just kind of embarrassed. And she's gonna stand like on a pew and just kind of stick her hand inside of Uther's hand and just kind of like pull on it just ever so gently just to get his attention because she knows he's mad and raging.
He looks down and his eyes are like completely black and there's like maybe one black tear coming down because he's it's more frustration at this point because it's just like, okay, I did everything right and everybody's acting like I made the mistake here. Like, so he just looks down to you like, fig.
Yeah, and like he looks up, or Ficus looks up, and she's just like, she's been crying, and she's just like, I'm so sorry. And then she kind of like leans in and like hugs like the side of his leg, and just starts like bawling into his hip because she feels like this is all her fault because she was the one who called for him. So she's just like sobbing hysterically, and she's just like holding on to like a piece of his armor or something like that and just sobbing into his side.
He just slams his great axe into the ground and like it's sticking there even if it's made out of stone, and he just hugs her back.
I'm not crying on stream, it's fine.
It's okay. I was definitely tearing up like while we were, because yeah, I'll talk more at the end of the stream about it. But in this moment, like she's just sobbing.
In fact, like as he's hugging her, like the black disappears and his eyes return to normal and he's done raging.
So's gonna turn to our two companions and tell them, you need to go wait outside. When we're ready, we'll follow the trail together. But for now, I think it's safer if you stay with our other companion at the tree. With that, actually, I'm going to turn to Uther. Uther, I want the bones of the mother.
He just hands them over, and he goes, "They're better with you. I failed."
And then Soul's going to head outside to find a place to bury all the bones that he carries of the two children and of the woman.
So Ismark and Irina would have taken what Sol said. They quietly would have nodded, and Ismark would have his arm around Irina and be standing between her and Uther as they pass by in the hallway. And Irina, still sobbing, quietly make their way out the chapel and then go out around back. And you going that way as well, kind of follow as they head toward the graveyard, leaving Bright, Ficus, and Uther in the chapel itself.
So they would find Leaf out by the church. They might see Leaf. So he in the short time after he walked out the chapel, he walked over to the tree that he found or that he picked out. He takes off his cloak and he lays it down on the ground, and then he takes his bow and he sets it like reverently on the cloak. And he takes his arrows sets them to quiver with that. He notices that he's slowly running low on arrows and will eventually need to recoup some. And then he takes out his short sword and his hand axe and he sets them on the cloak. And then he sits there and he's basically praying silently for several minutes. He would probably not be speaking out loud, but it essentially would start out with asking forgiveness and giving thanks.
So, Soul, you come around the corner of the chapel itself. You can see Leaf in the distance there underneath one of the trees. Ismark and Irina kind of go over by the, not too far from the gravestone, just far enough to not be in the midst of all the zombie corpses that are slowly turning to cinder and blowing away. And they just start whispering together amongst themselves. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Soul's gonna take a quick perception check to maybe find some suitable ground to lay these bones to rest.
I won't make you roll for that. Yeah, there's some places in the graveyard that you're certain would make for.
Right. So Soul quietly go about his tasks. He will lay them all side by side. And then he'll just do a quick prayer for the dead. If you guys don't know, Lathanders don't really care too much about death, but we know that people grieve. And he just wants to say the last words of a short prayer. So he'll lower his head. He'll go, "Your last sunset, go into the arms of Lathander. Be in his eternal, warm, soothing light. We will miss you for the light that you brought to a dark land. We will cherish the short time that you spent with us here in our realm. And your legacy will live on through the memory of those you have left behind. For death is life." And after that, he'll head back towards the party.
You, as soon as you finish speaking, you hear from behind you a short ways. Soothing words. Well said,
Thank you, Mark.
Solaire.
Can we just listen to Rob read prayers for like the rest of the stream? That was really soothing, and I needed that.
Ismark and Irina will walk up as well. And Irina still is quite upset. Ismark will say, "Yeah. Who was that?
He said what?
Who was
I
that?
can hear you.
Who was that?"
Who was that?
Pointing to the bones that you just buried.
Oh, okay. It was those we were not fortunate to find before tragedy struck them.
The mother of Tobias, the mote in the darkness.
And by all accounts, his half-brother and sister. The last of his blood family.
Where did you find them?
I'll describe the house we found about a day or so away from here.
That has been a dark place in this land for many years. Many 100 years. And all of you, what happened to you? What'd you do with the house?
We cleansed it.
That was no small task. When my sister spoke to Stanimir about finding someone that could bring light to this land, He went to Mother Eva and received words of guidance, and I don't know them. He simply said that she showed him the way. That he would show them, or that he would see the right people, that he would find those who could do what no one else has been able to do. This land is fractured. We have Valaki, we have Barovia, Crest. These places, they are isolated, they are scared, they are dark. We are a broken people. But all we need is a little bit of light to show there is a chance. We don't expect you to save us. We just thought you would show us hope. My sister, she is being chased by someone that we cannot stand against. And Mother Eva can help protect her, protect us, maybe show us what we don't know. I think that we are on the cusp of something wonderful. I think we are. I cannot take her. I have responsibilities here. She and I have been speaking, and if you would, please take her to the Zerpool. Please take her to see Mother Eva. Please help us see the light again. And I, despite what happened moments ago, I will tell the people in my village that there is again.
There's always hope, Ismark. I'd have to... Sorry, I forgot Solaire was right there. We'll have to consult with our companions. I believe we'll probably want to follow those tracks, at least as far as we can, before venturing off to find this Mother Eva. By chance, do you know where she can be found?
We did receive word that she is at the Zerpool. She has been at the Zerpool for years. I don't think she can travel anymore. She should be there. Your friend, Bright, I'm sure that she knows.
How far is it?
The Zerpool is a number of days away. I believe you can make it there in two days of travel. It will require being in the wilderness overnight, which is why Irina cannot go alone.
What's the
Leaf
hope
is
of...
going to look at Solaire.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of
Well,
looking to see what you're thinking.
I'm thinking that we will follow every lead to follow Tobias. But not just for him. We're going to do this for this land as well. Whether it be through sword, or through hammer, or through arrows, or magic. We're going to leave a mark on this land. Well, hopefully, I hope it's the brightness. But first, we need to work out the issues we got going now, because Uther is going to kill that woman if we don't calm him down properly.
Well, we
He's gonna
can
kill.
see how far the trail leads. That's the best option we have at the moment.
So while this is going down, it's just Fig and Uther on the inside, right?
Fig, Uther, and Bright
I think
are inside the chapel.
Bright's
And an
also there.
unconscious old man.
Yeah, an
And
unconscious
Oh yeah, and the priest we knocked
father.
out.
Okay.
We'll shift back to the chapel. Go ahead.
Okay.
I was just checking. I'm sorry.
Yep.
No, you're
I was
good, you're
I was
good.
going to shift back after they kind of got to
Okay.
a good break.
Okay. In that case, Uther is going to kind of let go of hugging Fig and just say, "I'm glad that you're okay."
I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough. And that I needed your help.
This has nothing to do with strength.
Needing help is not a bad thing.
I'm even weaker now than I was before.
Enough.
Fine. You are still an important person. Nothing that happens to you will make you any less of a person.
Oh, except a vampire bite. I'm just kidding.
You're not wrong.
I just... That creature we encountered downstairs took more from me than just my consciousness. And I don't know if I can ever replace that again.
I'm pretty sure it comes back after a long rest. You should be fine.
Ficus doesn't know this.
I know.
Ficus is stressed to the max.
Uther just goes, I am stronger than you could ever hope to be.
Hey.
And I lost my boy. Strength is useless. Aspire for something better.
It's not useless. You are strong enough to keep looking. And that is where you are getting your strength now. You're not depending on yourself. You are depending on your love for this child. That is what will make you strong now. That is what should always make you strong, is your family and your ties.
I turned from the old ways, and that is why I failed. He gets up and he walks to the altar.
One setback is not a failure. Please don't give up.
I am going to pray.
Ficus will walk over and sit by the altar with him, just cross-legged. Not really sure how to pray yet.
He just nudges Donovan, or the priest. Donovich. Tries to wake him up.
Donovich kind of starts to come to a bit.
I'm gonna go sit on the front
says,
step.
He says, "Where's my boy?"
I was wrong. I did not understand the pain of losing your boy.
What do you mean? What have you done? Doro! He tries to stand up, but he's woozy and back down. Doro!
You will never see him again. You will never hold him again. You will never hear his voice again. You will never hear his footsteps or smell his hair.
No. He just breaks down crying.
He says, "This is your life from now until the end of your days. But that could come sooner than you wish. I need to pray. And my prayers require substance. Would you like to live every day not knowing the sound of your boy's voice until ultimately you forget it? Or would you like to meet him now?"
Turns to you bawling. You took all that I had left, tying me to this land. You took all that I had left from the scrap that was left behind by Strahd. All I had was rags, and you burned them.
I did.
At your hand or mine, I'm not going on.
Would you like peace?
Not from someone that took my son from me. And he oozily stands up and starts walking toward his cell.
It's easier if you agree.
He keeps walking toward his cell.
Don't do it! Don't do it!
He begins to utter words in giant.
Okay.
It's an old, harsh prayer. And he just looms over Donovich.
You can't kill a helpless man! You can't kill younglings!
And he finishes the prayer. And he brings the axe down.
As Donovich reaches the kind of the end of that aisle, from the perspective you can't see, the priest is slowly walking woozily toward his own cell, and you see him pause for a moment. He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and then he falls under your axe. And standing is Uther, covered in the blood of a priest, within his own chapel.
Thank you, Donovich. And then he walks to leave.
Bright is sitting on the front steps, not really praying, but is speaking. As just casual murder is happening behind her, apparently.
I'm so sorry. I told you. He's
Ficus,
gonna go back to the old ways.
You were sitting next to the altar, and Ficus, as the priest falls to that in the chapel, you hear a crack, and the holy symbol on the altar cracks, and the altar shifts, and the kind of dull light that was within this church dissipates.
Ficus
You
grabs
broke the temple.
Did
Ficus grabs the
did this
holy
holy
stone.
symbol outside break too?
No.
I pray that one, but
You prayed that one. That one
okay.
still pulsing.
So we don't know. Okay.
Ficus grabs the holy symbol and starts praying as hard as she can to
Well, it's
her
just
halfling deity.
it's a symbol on an altar, so it's kind of carved into the altar. There's no single. It's not like the little one that came out of the tombstone that you guys fixed. The altar itself has the symbol of the Morning Lord on the top of it, and that is what cracked. And
What's the altar made of?
Stone of some kind.
Hold, please.
Looking in your inventory for tape.
Did we by chance hear this outside? Because a stone
No, you guys would
monument.
have no reason to hear this.
Okay. I can't
YOLO.
believe you.
I'm so sorry. But I'm
We
kind of
call
not.
this playing your
Defiled
character.
church, dude.
Redemption story.
That's not a redemption story.
Yeah, this is
No.
the opposite of redemption story right
he's
now.
gonna need one. He's gonna need one at this point because
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
This is
legit
the Dark
alignment
Knight.
change.
This is
Yeah,
the Dark
this-
Knight.
Uther walks out the front doors of the chapel, and Bright, you were outside on the steps. Ficus, you're left alone in the chapel. Whatever it is
And I'm
that you
breaking roll 20. Hold, please.
Okay,
Ficus.
Bright or Ficus, hold that thought. Bright, give me a perception check.
I was just gonna talk to my grandma, but okay.
And then
17.
okay, I'll get back to what the 17 means. Ficus, Old Earth.
Ficus is going to pray while simultaneously casting mold earth as hard as she can, because she's hoping she can have some connection to this stone.
Okay, so you can pull the stone back together, and you can make the holy symbol go back so that it's complete. And then go ahead and make a religion check with disadvantage.
Cool. I'm super good at those.
Double 20.
Come on.
Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Did it do it?
No.
Oh, that's perhaps not.
Did she do a prayer?
It's just one. Go ahead.
Did she do a
Toss
Jesus?
one.
No, she did not. No,
So
she did not.
She's
The-
crying really hard if that makes a difference.
you
Tears
leave
aren't holy water.
So the altar, as far as you can tell, right now it looks like it's together. The symbol is back, looking how you remember it. It kind of looks like if you try and line a piece of paper back together and then put a piece of tape on it, like it's holding, it's there, but you still see that hairline crack through it. And Bright, with your perception check, as Uther walks out, you guys have been fighting creatures, whether it's zombies or the undead, and you've seen his axe and the various gore that's been on his axe. But as he walks out, you see a very fresh drop of blood come off the axe and land on the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Ficus, there's no light that returns to the chapel or anything else.
He's gonna pop a message to Solaire outside and be
Come
like,
pray.
prayers are needed. Prayers.
Soul, you are with Leaf and Irina, and you've just kind of finished up burying the remains that you've collected. You sense, you have, as your prayer ends, a sense of peace for the remains of the children. But the burial of Margaret's bones feels empty to you in a way that's hard to explain. It feels like you've gone through the appropriate motions, but something still isn't right. And then you get a message in your mind from Ficus. Prayers needed. Down.
Well, I'll just start heading back towards the front of the chapel.
If
We need
Uther
to go.
If Uther
I'm
intercepts it, like on the way out, if they cross paths, Uther's just gonna put a hand on his chest and go, "We need to leave now."
I'm gonna look at Leaf and go, we need to head back to the chapel. Something happened.
Yeah. Leaf would have followed you.
Okay.
So
So
Leaf
it's-
is probably a pace behind Solaire,
Yeah.
or maybe side by side. I don't know.
Leaf,
So
you told
Uther's-
me there were tracks. Where are the tracks?
It's
Wait, have we met up yet?
You
But
guys
I
are
was
meeting,
really-
like, crossing paths, coming back towards.
So who
you're
would
going
you
back
speak
the
to
floor.
first then?
So-
He would have put a hand on Soul's chest first and go, "We need to leave." And if Soul continues to go, "Well, we need to go to the chapel first,"
No,
He
I'm
would
gonna
then-
ask you, why do we need to leave right now?
because I need to find my son.
Would I notice the blood, or is it just like something I wouldn't notice in this time?
You can make a perception check. I gave one to Bright. If you guys want.
Okay.
Leaf, go ahead, you two.
Goodness.
Sure.
Zero
Yeah.
perception.
And Leaf would
Would he point out the tracks first?
yeah, I mean, yeah, as soon as you say we need to leave, it will say, the tracks are here. They're fairly easy to follow, but we probably need a moment to collect ourselves.
You cannot go through the mist.
Thank you. And he would follow the tracks immediately.
At Leaf, as you tell him that, when he turns, you see a much fresher drop of blood come off his axe than what you would expect for fighting zombies in a maple.
Yeah, I just kind of like raise an eyebrow to Soul, I think.
Soul, you didn't catch it. So.
No, I know.
Yeah, that's right. So
So Uther turns on his heels and goes over to where the tracks
I would
are.
whisper. I'm gonna whisper. So Uther goes and looks at the tracks himself. I just pointed to the window.
He's not looking at the tracks. He's following the tracks. He's going.
So
Right.
Uther starts walking towards the woods themselves.
You cannot go through the mists.
Are the mists at the edge of the woods? Are we
Just
that
within-
close?
So you're several dozen feet away from the edge of the Svalage woods.
Oh.
But as you get closer to the edge of the woods, you can see that green mist that Bright cautioned you about yesterday is dancing within the forest itself. Uther stomping towards the woods. So we're gonna let him stomp that direction, and
Yep.
we'll have some time. So Soul, Leaf.
Well, Leaf would lean over towards Solaire and say, his axe has fresh blood on it. We better check quickly.
Oh no, the girls. And we make our way back to the front.
Bright was just sitting on the front step for that whole discussion, so I think you mean, oh no, Ficus.
Well, no, we were on the side or were we in the front?
Yeah, I was assuming he met us around
So you guys
the
met
side.
on the side. So you guys come around
Yeah.
the corner, and you see
Cool,
Bright
cool.
on the steps. She has just told Uther don't go into the mist as he's ignored her and stomped off to the west.
What happened? What did Uther do? To
He
Bright.
killed the priest. He killed the
What?
father.
I look back towards Uther, like, in disbelief.
He's stomping towards the wood.
I'm just
So
gonna
heads.
continue talking to my grandmother now, please.
So heads in
I'm-
because
I'm gonna go
gonna-
to Bright for a second before you go.
Okay,
ahead.
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
That's fine.
definitely.
It was just a lot of Grandmother Eva, I know that you can see far. If you can see me, I know that I am dead, but please come help me. Essentially, with probably a lot longer windedness.
Okay.
But just that.
Okay, so you kind of just offer that up to the
Yep.
winds.
Mm-hmm.
Solaire, see what you can do. I'll try to hold Uther up. Bright, you probably should come with me if you don't mind.
Yep. And I just get
Yeah,
up
can
and
you tell me-
bring my doggo.
What?
We'll go.
Why can't we go into the mist? Help me understand, please.
Have you seen regular mists?
Of course.
Do those look like regular mists?
Not exactly,
That is why you cannot go in the mist.
but okay, well, we're walking and talking, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I mean, what happens if someone goes into the mist?
You're not the same?
Interesting.
Soul walks through the chapel door. The first thing you see is the priest laying in a pool of blood within the nave itself. You see Ficus over by the altar with a look of concern on your face in your direction.
Well, if a robot can look horrified, that's what I look like right now. By Lathander and Ficus. What happened?
I didn't stop Uther from murdering the priest. But
Why
I did
did he
mention
murder the priest?
he was really mad. I was kind of scared. I was also still sitting here at this altar because I was trying to learn how to pray, so I wasn't paying as much attention as I probably could have been. But I did manage to put the altar back together, but it's not glowing anymore, and that feels like an issue. It's really dark in here, and I'm really scared. And she just keeps just basically word vomiting all over what's going on. But she is sitting basically underneath the altar, and she's just got her hands pressed up into it as if she were Toph right now trying to earthbend. And she's just doing her best, praying, saying little prayers, and just continuously casting mold earth to see if she could get it one more time. Just spending all this time praying and casting and praying and casting.
Okay. Real quick, does Solaire know what exactly happened, or do I need to roll religion?
It's pretty clear that the chapel itself had a consecration spell. It's
Mhm.
something that kept Doru from coming up out of the under. It's why he screamed so loud when he was first brought into the church, up out of the undercroft into the church. The side effects of spells like that, there's usually something visual, and for this church there was this just very soft glow that was within the chapel itself, and that glow is gone. And being a person of faith, being a paladin, you would have noticed that change as soon as you walked through the door, that the light is gone, the consecration is broken. the church, the chapel, is no longer safe.
Okay. So, what do I need to roll to try and reconcentrate the church?
So just like with the saint, I'll let you attempt a religion check over it. Officially, it's a spell that you don't have access to right now.
That's what I was
So-
talking
okay.
about.
So
That's fine. Because I
so
just
what?
rolled terribly for it anyway.
Oh, I hadn't even got back over to check yet. So yeah, so you can make a prayer, and yeah. So either way, so you start a prayer, but as soon as you realize it's the altar itself that broke, you recognize that this is beyond your capabilities.
I'm completely at a loss of what to do.
Anything you can do for the priest?
I'll look over at the dead body. I'm sorry, he is also beyond my ability to help. Go help them get that fool back. I refuse to go. I'm going to go bury the priest too now.
So,
Clean up this idiot's mess.
so Uther, as you get closer, you notice fairly well. Let's see if you notice. Perception, survival, or investigation, your choice.
I think that Bright and Leaf would not let Uther walk into the mist.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll see
no.
how far he gets.
Let's see. Oh, I'm actually good at perception. That'll be a 22.
22. You see right away the tracks. You're able to connect. Yeah, this is about the same size as that push cart you ate the spider crunchies. It's about the same size as that cart. You see 2 footprints in the mud, leading leading toward the woods itself. It's really just a few dozen feet to the edge of the woods. Let me see if there's something special. No. So it's just humanoid footprints. They seem to be shuffling a bit. They're not
Moving
notable
quickly?
other than that. No. Not even moving quickly.
Okay.
As you get close to the woods itself, you can see that while there's almost always this mist hanging about in Barovia, the mist within the woods is a sickly green hue.
Okay.
And the tracks also end before they reach the woods. So that's the other thing that you see. So about 2 feet before they reach the woods, the wooden tracks or the 2 cart tracks are. Perception 22. At the point of where they're gone, there is where the grass and mud would be. There's like a line that's almost into the ground itself, just a very thin line.
Okay. So I've got a -1 in this, but I would like to try it anyway.
Okay,
Can I try a knowledge arcana?
you may.
What?
Yeah.
I rolled a 19, so that's
Whoa.
18. He wants his kid back.
And
So
he just magically.
Really hard.
with that knowledge, you're fairly confident that this is the remnants of some kind of spell. Probably piecing together super high perception and a really good arcana check. Some kind of transportation spell took place before she reached the woods. So you have no way of knowing where she.
Yeah.
Can Bright and Leaf come up at that moment and
Yep.
just
Bright
see
and
that the
Leaf come up
trail
behind
ends?
you. Kind of at that point, Uther is kneeling down, a finger toward the mud, probably grabbing a fistful of mud or something.
Yeah.
The trail
Kinda
just
taste-
disappears?
Tasting it. Magic.
Definitely.
That does not surprise me. There has always been something off about Grammy Morga.
Just kind of stands up straight.
Grammy Morga. So you
Yes,
think
the
the
old
same
woman
thing I
who-
do? They didn't.
Help me.
Irina and Ismark, did they tell you it was her?
No, they said they did not know who it was. That they could not see, but
Oh, well, that was my
She
first
wanted-
instinct.
she wanted to buy us, and she is not what she appears. So
Clearly.
why
Uh,
wouldn't
axe,
it be?
axe in hand, Uther starts praying in giant again.
Okay.
Oh, I should have taken giant.
Did
Do
you
I
know this was gonna happen?
He's
I don't
basically,
think giant.
it's basically a chant of death, come save me now. Death, come help me now. I deliver the soul to you. Guide the way. I will make it rain blood so that your reign may be supreme. Death, come to me now.
Whoa.
Y'all might want to back up.
So, in the back
So-
of your mind, 1 second. In the back of your mind, Uther, for the first time, you hear a response to your prayer. All it says is, "You have potential."
Give
Uh,
me my boy, Death.
is that great potential? Ismark and Irina come around to the front of the chapel. Basically, they jog over because Sol comes by them with the priest. Ismark looks at you kind of in a panic. What happened?
I just look at him and say, the same thing that would have happened to your sister if we hadn't stopped them. And
I cannot send you with them. And Irina looks at him and says, "We don't have a choice. Mother Eva's the only one that can show us the way. And you can't take me there. You won't stop me. This is my choice." Ismark looks at her. "I told you I would respect the decision you made. And I will. But I do not approve." He says to Sol, "Let me help you," and leaves Irina at the steps and goes with Sol to the graveyard. And if you look back toward the chapel, you kind of see Irina, and she's trying to stand up straighter, and she's trying to wipe tears from her face, and it looks like she's working herself up. She calls out, "Mother Eva sees. Mother Eva, no. Take me there, please. And I will do all I can to help. I want to see this destroyed. I hope that your resolve can get you there. Will you take me or not?"
Which one of us is she asking?
I think everybody's out there right now. You guys are just a few dozen away.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
we were out towards the
Over by the trees, yeah.
Yeah.
She's
I
kind
will-
of yelling from the steps near the chapel.
I will walk over to her away from Uther. Because that's probably the safest place for us to talk. And just be like, "We can take you to Grandmother Eva, and you can try to find the answers that you seek there. But please, your father would do anything to keep you safe when he was alive, yes?
That's why he never let me leave the house.
That is how Uther feels right now. He is missing his child. Give him a little bit of grace.
Have you fallen to magic?
DM, have I fallen to magic?
You tell me.
I don't know. This wasn't covered in backstory.
If you had, you would understand the pain I'm going through. And if you hadn't, I hope it never happens to you. Thank you. Irina kind of looks around. She says, "It's a long walk to the Zer pool.
What time of day is it?
It's about 3 o'clock at this point.
Sweet.
If we get started now, we can get there tomorrow."
There's nothing else for us here, so we may as well. We'll be
She
camping in the
walks.
woods overnight at some point, so we might as well get it over with.
She walks up to Uther
I go with her, just in case I need to human shield.
and she says, "I truly am sorry." And turns and walks back toward the chapel.
That was Irina?
Yes.
Where's Ismark?
Ismark went to help Soul bury the priest.
Okay.
Ficus would have also gone with Ismark and Soul.
Do we see them?
You would have known they were going that direction, probably. Depending on how wrapped up you were with Uther. So you tell me whether you would have saw them or not. Because you guys were pretty wrapped up trying to get attached to Uther when he would have been walking
I
past.
mean, my
us.
passive is 14. So Leaf is
I'm
pretty
fine with
aware,
that.
pretty alert. So I'm thinking he probably had a sense of that. So Irina went into the chapel right now?
Irina is outside with you guys.
Oh, she's
Ismark,
with Bright and myself. Okay.
and just walk up to Uther to say I'm sorry. So you guys are kind of all in the yard of the chapel, for lack of a better descriptor.
Okay, and then is Uther just like standing there sort of wordlessly?
So far.
He's had his eyes closed for the longest. She walked up and said something to him and then walked away. He took a deep breath and now he's got a smile on his face and he's walking to the party.
Well, I don't like that.
He's walking where?
Towards the party.
Okay. Oh, you mean like over towards Solaire and
Towards everybody.
Well, because the three of us are together.
Yeah, so he's just walking. So it's getting everybody all together so that we
Okay.
can start
Okay.
moving out.
Okay. All right. So we need to get
where's
Irina
Ficus?
to come with us then, because she
Yep,
went
she'll
back
walk-
inside.
She's already with us.
She's just walking back towards. She just walked up to
she's with
Uther.
us.
Uther was kind of
She
behind.
walked
him.
up. Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive
So-
me.
No,
For
that's
some
fine,
reason,
that's
I
fine.
thought she went inside. Okay, so she walked. All right. At some point, we're gonna all come together now, and I guess if there's an opportunity, Leaf wants to try to have a word with Ismark.
So what'll happen with the burial is Ismark will say to Ficus and Soul, Irina believes that Mother Eva will show her how to defeat this man, this creature, Strahd. This is dangerous for the Vistani. Please be careful. I am putting a great deal of trust in you by trusting her. And I don't trust the large one, for obvious reasons. Will you keep an eye on my sister?
I look at him square in the face and tell him, no one in this group will harm her. And I do all I can to protect her on our journey.
Roll deception.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh, I see the thing about so honestly means it.
Yeah,
Unlike everybody
for
else, half my party wants to kill her, but
Half? I
I-
don't know about that.
Only
I was like,
one.
a third. Okay, Someone in our party
1/5.
wants to kill her.
So-
Okay.
By
There we
weight.
go.
1/3.
Oh, by weight.
One
it's a
third
half.
by weight.
I-
That's accurate.
Love it.
we finished and headed back already.
Yep, you guys finish, head back to the chapel. You all gotta come together in front of the chapel.
All right.
Before we
Ismark,
go back,
yes, go
I
ahead.
want to go look at like the tree that Leaf was near earlier. I wouldn't have known that Leaf was near it, but the living tree,
Mhm.
and try to find like an acorn type situation or like a seed that would have fallen from the tree.
It's a crabapple tree, so there's some like shriveled crab apples on the ground.
Ficus is going to take a crab apple and like while they're doing their prayers and burial and stuff, she's going to crack it open. And she is going to druid craft on the seed pod and just kind of have it bloom a little bit. And then she's going to go over to the area where she burned down the tree and plant this one in front of the burned tree.
Okay.
And then she also wants to carve 2 tiny swords into the base of the burned tree after her god of defense.
Okay.
And just what she knows of her god of defense is very little because the guy that she prays to more often is not that great of a person.
Okay.
Calling on the same pantheon, but she doesn't really know what she's doing.
Sure.
She just knows the symbols from books.
So as Ficus walks away from that, what she would not have seen is there is this slight glow to the swords themselves as she walks away from it. And you guys reconvene in front of the chapel.
Man, I need to start believing in a deity so I can get signs from them.
I mean, Ficus literally like has like one deity that she kind of like molds herself after, and that is not the one that she's trying to pray to right now. But she's growing. Character development. It's happening.
I love it.
All right. The
Look,
second we
There's
walk
more
up to
coming.
each other, Soul's gonna take an unarmed attack straight at Uther.
Oh god.
Nice.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's deserved.
Do
So
I-
don't even look at me
So
surprised.
Do
So-
I have to human shield everyone in this party?
Inter-party conflict, we're not going to roll for anything. The question
Okay.
is, and this is
Uther takes it.
I say
Oh,
this is an above table question. Uther, are you fine with getting punched
Yeah,
for what's
Uther
obviously
takes it.
story reasons? Okay. Then Soul, you can
fine.
punch Uther.
Side. Soul punches him in the face, and I
PvP
simply
with
look at him
consent.
in the eye and say, "That old man was innocent, undeserved, and it will never happen again as long as you are in this group."
It will happen anytime I need to pray. Let's continue.
And with that tension, Irina
Mhm.
kind of leads you toward the center of town and points down the road and says, "If we start now, we should be able to make it to the bridge at nightfall. That's a good a place to camp as any. And then maybe..." No, we'll have to make it past the bridge tonight to make it tomorrow, or we'll spend 2 nights in the woods. And I don't like that idea. Should we go quickly? Should we?
Yes.
I need your decisions on this.
We move quickly.
Yes.
Um,
There's nothing here that will keep us, so let's just go.
When Leaf had a chance before the group left the church grounds, is Ismark still with us?
So Ismark is still there at the chapel. He
Would he walk to the edge of town with us or something?
would almost certainly follow you to the edge of town. Yes.
So at some point, whenever there's a moment, Leaf is gonna like hold him back or pull him aside or something, and he just wants to say to Ismark, he's like, "Things are a little confused at the moment, but I give you my word for what it's worth. We intend to do good in this land. We will do what we can to protect your sister." That's it. He just wants to I know it's not gonna mean much, but we'll look out for her to the best of our ability.
And as they're walking, and Uther kind of wipes the blood from his nose and smiles at it. He looks to Soul and he says, for what it's worth, and I truly mean these words as a friend, your priest died well.
I just look at him and keep walking.
You guys convene at the edge of town. Irina kind of sidetracks a little bit. She actually takes you back to the house so that she can collect a few things that she's going to need to go. If any of you guys need anything, a lot of basic stuff she could provide just from what they have, but they don't have a great deal.
How many sets of tools do they have?
Oh,
I am an
yes,
artist.
no,
person.
I'm glad
Okay.
you said that. So Ismark walks with you back to the house, and he goes into the den where the father was for a while, and he comes back out with a cloak. And this cloak is covered in a number of different patches. And he says to you all, as thanks for helping us lay our father to rest, and as thanks for taking my sister to Mother Eva, I want to gift this to you. Each of these patches is a tool that can be used. Just pull it off and throw it on the ground. I have no way to put them back on the cloak. I have no use for it, but I'm sure, he kind of gestures toward Ficus and Bright, you've shown some magical aptitude. I'm sure that you can find a way to reattach the patches.
Yes, I vaguely know this area, yes.
And he gives you a
Robe
a-
of useful items!
it's a robe of useful items.
Love it. That's one of my
That-
favorite things.
So I've made a couple adjustments to it, so I will send you the details to the robe of useful to my version of the robe of useful items, because it does allow you to put stuff on it, which there aren't rules for that. So I made rules for you adding to your robe if you would like to.
That.
That sounds like a me thing.
Yo.
Love you all, but that sounds like a me thing.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
you do
Leaf would
immediately
expect you to
notice
put it on, I think.
in your search for tools is there is an anvil on there that has blacksmithing tools around it. So there is a patch where you can have an anvil and blacksmithing tools. And I'll get you the rest of the details when it gets there. So the travel speed, the way I'm doing it, and I'm going to stick you on the overland map. So
I'm putting it in my inventory.
you guys are in the village of Barovia, and each hex on this map is 2 miles. So at a walking pace, you basically make it a hex and a half. If you are running, you make it 2 hexes an hour. So if you want to do that fast pace, you can go 2 hexes an hour and begin to proceed. So I think that's what everyone agreed to, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what we'll do is at the end of the first day, you'll need to make a Constitution save, take a level of exhaustion, even if you sleep through the night. So that is my plan for overland travel.
Rock and roll.
Let's do it.
So I will show you how far you can go. So that would be 4 o'clock. You reach at 5 o'clock. You reach a bridge over the river Ivlis. And as you approach, it's a stone bridge. There's not a huge amount of details to it. In fact, the gargoyles along the bridge are little more than lumps of stone. The ancient stone bridge spans the Ivlis River. On either side of the road, on pillars set on the parapets, are 2 large, mostly shapeless figures. Small, weathered lamps decorate the walls over the intricate stone lattice instead of solid walls. A raven sits in the place of one of the broken, smaller statues. It looks up at you and caws before flying away.
I
Well,
waved
it's
to it.
about time we had a good sign.
So on the other side of the bridge, I need someone to be the. Just made the horse fat. I need someone
I saw
to
that.
roll a d20.
As they're like going onto the bridge, could Ficus use the Seeing Stone to cast Detect Magic?
You absolutely can.
I rolled a d20 and I got a 12.
12?
Oh,
All right.
I was gonna say I want to roll, but I got a 1.
Oh.
So
Well, that's
let's
fine.
use your roll.
I heard his rattle of a 12.
So while
So,
we're walking, I
ahead.
look over to Ficus. What is Ficus' condition right now?
so
It's a Hot Mess Express.
I
There's a vampire
have-
bite on her neck.
I have the doggo all set up. If you want to
Oh.
not walk.
I was gonna hand you that healing potion you guys gave me a couple days ago that you totally forgot I had. If you needed
Save
it.
Potions for emergencies.
Yo,
You
Okay.
can save
well,
that for now.
That's what I got spells for. And now a
Alright.
cool robe. Yeah, no, I've definitely offered immediately for like, Ficus, you do not have to walk if you do not want to. You can always take and just like point to the metal dog.
I think for the most part, she'll like just lay on the back of the metal dog, looking up at the sky, and just kind of
Yes.
cross her legs and just let the dog take her forward. And she's just going to
that's awesome.
think on everything that's happened in the past like 4 days of knowing this group of people.
So
Okay.
the skies of Barovia are a swirling mess of dark clouds. Even now at 5 in the afternoon, 5 in the evening, you can see as you look up, the sun is beginning to set. The sky is growing dark. You guys probably have another hour nightfall, which gets you that far.
I have
As
given everyone light rocks.
so it is. So the sun began to set at about 6:15. It is twilight. Do you want to press on, or do you want to stop here?
We stop here.
That's a
I think we
question.
should keep going.
We should keep going.
You got deciding vote, Leaf. Ficus.
I'm not afraid of the dark.
All right, then away we go.
Irina,
I give
traveling
I
along
give-
with you, kind of takes a deep breath. Okay.
I scratch on rocks and give one to my 4 party mates and one to Arena, and then I keep producing flames so that all of us have a light on
Okay.
us specifically.
Sounds good.
Ficus will also be holding her dagger of warning.
Okay.
And just like mutter, everyone stay close.
During this travel, at some point, Irina's going to come up to Sol, and she'll say, "Excuse me, Solaire, was it?
Yes.
You, my brother said that you've shown a great deal of compassion, and I wanted to thank you for that. Compassion is something I need to see. And in the cemetery, that prayer, you killed all of those creatures in one blow. What gave you the strength to do that?"
I am a child of Lathander. Unlike the father, I have not forgotten that. Compassion is something he should have shown this entire town, and even his son. Though I may never have a child of my own, I could not believe anyone would want to let another living creature stay in that state. For me, compassion is something that you all should carry. And whether it be through my magic or my weapon, I'm going to make sure that that is something very common by the time we get out of here, by the time we return home.
Appreciate that. If I were to learn how to do what you do, where would I start?
Sorry.
Apologies.
I'm just
Does-
gonna go ahead and share that with the stream.
Yeah, put that in the
totally
stream.
distracted me with that one. Does Soul have a
Give everyone a baby.
yeah? Does Soul have enough knowledge to teach to take on an apprentice and first level paladin, or just the faith?
Soul is you. You tell me if Soul can handle.
Yeah, you do have confidence in
Okay.
yourself.
There you go. I would. Well, Soul actually lights up at that. I would be happy to teach you. Whenever we get a free moment, I would love to sit down with you and go over our book and our teachings. Maybe when I leave, we can have someone to replace the good father at the church.
I appreciate that. So you guys decide to press on. So you go another hour into the night, and I need another roll.
Oh, I heard the die roll before I click the button.
I mean, you want to go with yours or mine? I'll
No,
tell
no,
you what mine is. Once we
You rolled
decide.
first.
I got an 18.
18. So night has fallen. It's still early. It's about 7:15, and all of you are making your way down a path. This road that leads through the woods itself. As you approach a bend in the path itself, you see a pair of creatures moving just in the distance. And the person that would see this, well, it would, because you're glowing right now, it would be, I think Leaf has dark vision, doesn't he?
Bright
Yes.
does.
Okay, anyone with dark vision, about 60 feet away, you see a pair of creatures in the middle of the path.
On the path that we're heading towards.
Yep, so you are heading south in this map.
I'm just gonna.
There are figures up ahead.
Uther immediately begins praying.
As you pause to take note of that, they do look your way because you are all shining.
Glow rocks.
They just try to go through. Maybe they're not hostile.
A tribute for you, O death.
The two
And
kind
you're
of
just gonna run forward, aren't you? Oh my gosh.
eke forward just a little bit more.
Are they like four-legged or are they two-legged?
So what you see as through the dark vision, they seem humanoid. They seem a little bit on the shorter side.
Oh
And,
boy. Guys, no. We can't
they-
do this.
Kind of look. They look like they have thorny skin. Is kind of the
Uh-huh.
best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're taking a look, Uther's ready to fight, so everyone's ready to fight.
No. Everyone's reluctant to fight. Uther's ready to fight.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
The one in the front, or both of them seeing Uther square up, are going to launch the needles in his direction.
Oh,
Yep.
goodness.
Can I?
There it is.
Didn't even have a chance.
So the 19 would hit. So you get hit with a needle for 6.
Who's
Can
our party now?
Wave of needles hit you, and now would be a great time to roll initiative.
You just hear
Okay.
him. He starts to laugh.
Whoa! Whoa! 2 natural 20s. Settle down
And-
there, folks.
Sorry, I've not cleared the order.
It's all good.
So go ahead and roll.
Forgot that
roll for
I get
yourself and go ahead.
advantage on
Yeah, you
Whoops,
get advantage.
Sorry, wrote the wrong thing.
16 for me.
15.
That's Ficus, Soul, Uther.
Can you update Ficus to 16?
I can't.
Did I have to attune to the robe?
I don't have the stats right in front of me, so I'm going to say yes.
I pulled it up and it doesn't say requires attunement.
Okay, then no.
Hey.
And Leaf, you need to be in the order, so go ahead and roll for yourself and change
I
it.
did. What? Oh, because you Okay. Hang
Yep,
on
sorry.
one moment.
Yeah, I had to...
No worries. There you go.
Look, I really hope
My initial
that-
roll was what? 24.2.
Alright.
You really hope what?
I'm looking at the robe of many things or the robe of useful items, and knowing that I can take stuff off and then put it back, I really want one of the patches to be the iron door up to 10 feet wide and 10 feet high that I can just yank off and stick in front of us and then just put back on my robe. Or also a riding horse would be very useful right now.
I would be. I'm okay with a riding horse.
What? Do you want me
I'm
to roll for the patches? For what's
Uh,
on?
I already have that rolled up. I just have to get it to you.
Please give me 2 dogs. I need more pets in this game.
So when my Artificer had it,
need
I had
more dogs.
7 ladders. I rolled 7 fucking ladders, and I was like, I don't need this shit.
That is
So good.
spectacular.
How can
I
that
hate
even
those
happen?
damn ladders. I don't know, Gregory. I had a die that was probably weighted.
I need more dogs.
Alright, there we
Tell me there are dogs on this coat. Look, some people are crazy cat ladies. I'm a weird dog person.
No,
Okay.
that's cool. Leaf.
I mean-
love. Gregory loves dogs.
I know.
Leaf is the one that has an issue with all the dogs.
I know.
For obvious reasons.
Alright, so I got that sorted, so Soul, you could go ahead and begin.
Leaf should be first. Leaf has a 24.
Oh, sorry, that didn't get changed.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, I forgot I could do it myself.
I
should've
said,
done
yeah, that's alright.
Sorry.
So Leaf, go ahead.
that. So I saw the thorns shoot out at Uther. I'm gonna look over to. I kind of look back and forth between Bright and Irina, and I'm like, do either of you know what these things are?
Dead.
Okay.
They're
my
needle
dude.
blights. They're unintelligent. they're evil plants. That's what
And
Irina
then-
says.
Unnatural. Actually, Leaf might even recognize what they are.
They are pests that live in the woods.
So
I'm fine with Leaf knowing what they are.
okay,
They're not
cool.
unique to Barovia.
Okay, so then he probably wouldn't. Then he might have said something more along the lines of like, is there anything unusual about the needle blights that are in this land? But in the meantime, he's actually going to mark one of them as his Slayer's Prey,
Sure.
and then I'm gonna go ahead and take a sharpshooter shot. Let's see
Go
what
for it.
happens. All right. Huh. That's gonna miss. That was an 11.
Yep, an 11. Yes, a miss. So your arrow flies, it sticks in it, and it kind of just looks like another thorn coming off its body. Anything else?
No, he's just frustrated that his aim was off. So that's about it.
All right, Soul, go ahead.
All right. Let's think. Too far away. Oh wait, javelin. Pick that back up. So, what's the range on this thing?
Javelin is 30-60.
Well, I'll take my move. You got to show me how to do that one day. I appreciate the reference. I'll move there in front and
Okay.
check a javelin.
Okay, go for it.
Great.
15 will hit.
Nice.
or 5 piercing. So your javelin flies through the air, sticks in it, and it goes through its leg, and it kind of slows it for a second, and it breaks the javelin off, and it looks in very bad shape.
Great, so I'm down a javelin.
Anything else?
I ready my warhammer, and then I'm done.
Okay. So both of these needle blight, they start like it sounds like wind passing through reeds as they kind of turn their heads back and forth and make this not quite howling sound, more like this rustling. As a number of others step out of the woods. So we will start with.
Can we stop spawning enemies in so much?
Bright's not up for
I
a
have to
challenge.
reevaluate my turn.
Fine.
I'm gonna summon that warhorse now, please. We're all gonna get on, and it's gonna be fine.
So these deeper in the forest had to run through. They don't have anything to give them extra speed, but 2 of them are close enough that they could come up and try and claw at you. So these 2 try and claw at Soul. There's these thorn-covered slashes. 13 rends its claw against you. It's like a vine whip breaks against you as they try and whip at you and fail. Bright, it's your turn. Oh,
So
I forgot these
have-
3. I'm sorry. These are gonna lob a volley of needles at. We're gonna send 1 to Leaf and 2 to Uther. The ones at Uther disadvantage. 16 to hit Leaf.
Just hits.
That's 6 damage,
Hey. Okay.
and then 12 to Uther does not hit, I believe. So
Nope.
this volley of needles like beats against your chest, but doesn't go in deep enough to hurt you. Now, Bright, you can go.
So if I have a thrown weapon, can I cast catapult on it instead of using its range?
I'm fine with that.
Sweet, I throw alchemist fire at this stuff.
Okay.
Woo.
So we're gonna. My magic attack is up 1 now. It's +6. Nope. Yup. Nope. It's +7. Yeah, it's +7. So I'm gonna just manual type it because I still don't have a catapult for some reason.
I think that's not in the SRD, right? You have to do it manually.
What?
Catapult.
Yeah,
you'll
but
have
I could make a macro for it. So that's a 25 on this guy.
25 will hit.
I'm gonna start a forest fire.
Ooh, nice shot.
Thanks.
So your alchemist fire, it breaks against him, and just the impact bursts this needle blight into pieces, and it dies.
Cool.
Just-
Can the flask keep going through it then? I go for the ones behind it.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeet.
You did more than twice the damage necessary to kill it. Yeah. So you shot a vial of alchemist fire through that one's chest, and it breaks against the one behind.
I play good baseball.
So they are on fire.
What?
No,
I
it's
rolled
not gonna do the
3
damage again. Oh, 25 to hit? Holy crap! No,
It
I
was
thought that was
25 to
damage.
hit.
No,
and
it's
then it was
both. It's
25
to hit and then
damage.
25 damage.
Okay, well yeah.
I
so I
roll
was gonna let it.
3d8 if it doesn't end on the first thing that it hits, it goes past and hits the person behind it.
Okay, so
So it
that's-
does that much damage. Plus it's
that-
on fire.
So that kills both of them,
Wow.
and they are the 2 burning piles of needle blight as your potion of your alchemist fire breaks against this one and probably catches this one on fire.
Apparently,
this
Roll20
potion.
is in a good mood tonight.
Artificers. And then my
guess.
dog is gone. Can I tell my dog to listen to what Ficus wants to do?
That
I don't
gets
know.
wonky with turn order.
Yeah, I know. I I guess just it's gonna move up one with Ficus on the back so that it can be around Irina and Leaf.
Okay, sounds good. Ficus, it's your turn.
Ficus is going to take a very simple maneuver and just shoot at this guy right here.
Okay,
It's
go ahead.
a crossbow. Or short bow, sorry.
That was just the happiest little turn of my
That was
life.
epic.
20 will hit.
Whoa, dirty 20.
And 6 damage as your arrow pierces like in its head, and instead of the arrow seeming to be part of it like Leaf's arrow, this one sticks right in its forehead, and it kind of makes it seem woozy a little bit. It does not look to be in good shape.
Okay, and then she is going to slide down off of the dog and bonus action hide behind the dog.
All right,
I approve this message.
Nicely done.
go ahead and give me your stealth check. And Uther, it's your turn.
Uther is going to grip his axe and slowly start to walk forward while praying in giant. And this time, when he walks forward, he's also going to rage, and from the shadows are going to emerge ancestors, but these are going to be very different one. These are going to be the priests of his clan, and so you'll see giant Goliaths, with blood-covered faces and daggers, and they're all saying the same prayer as him. Ud naga void mordu, ud nagat void mordu. And he is going to charge forward and attack with his axe.
All right, sounds great.
And they are standing in front of Bright.
How do
Okay.
you make me so excited for you to use the same class feature every time?
Cause he good.
It's so good. It's so good.
Were you reckless? Either one hits. So you
Yeah, I wasn't attacking recklessly, so.
even a 12 hits, so that's all right.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's going to be 13 damage, where he just brings down the axe in. You guys have seen him fight before, and there was usually kind of like a bit of playfulness to it, because he would always try to do outlandish shit. Now it's just he's trying to get to the vital parts as soon as possible.
He's turned
Sounds
into the
good.
Terminator. He's just a machine.
I think the theme of the land has overtaken him.
You
Mm.
cut it down. It goes to Irina.
Oh, it dies? As soon as it drops, like, he just lifts his axe in the air and, like, lets out a screech, and the cultists behind him do the same thing.
Okay, sounds fantastic. Irina will draw her rapier and take kind of a defensive stance and stay right where she is. Leaf.
I'm gonna rinse and repeat. So I'm gonna just try to take a slightly better aim, and this one over here to Solaire's right side, I will once again take a shot. It is.
shot.
I'm gonna once again make it my Hunter's Prey as a bonus
Okay.
action. Slayer's Prey.
Slayer's Prey.
Oh my god! I rolled a natural 1. Come on!
Sorry, somebody had to make up for me rolling all of those naturals.
So your arrow just goes wide.
Yep.
And then which one was your Slayer's Prey? The one up close to Leaf now?
Yeah.
So I'll turn that one blue, and this one loses Slayer's Prey, correct?
Yeah. It just moves.
Okay. Soul, go ahead.
All right, let's see who is still alive. Well, I also want to ready my shield because I keep forgetting I have one. And with that, I'll still do a one-handed strike on the little guy in front of me.
Go for it.
Right. There we go.
A 19 definitely hits. 4 damage. So you catch it, but it kind of slinks out of the way a little bit, and you knock a whole bunch of brambles off of its shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Alright, we go to them. This one is going to attempt a dexterity save. It burns. Go ahead and roll 1d4.
Yay! 2 points of fire damage.
So the fire that splashed on it from its ally next to it starts to spread across its body. This one moves up there toward Uther, this one toward Uther, this one moves around to Soul, this one charges Soul, and this one charges Soul.
And
So we're
20
gonna
more come out of the forest.
So we are going to start with Uther. Claws at advantage, an 11 to hit. A 20 will hit for 5 damage as the one between you and Soul catches your hip.
Wait. He'd be at disadvantage because I have my shield out. And anybody within.
Oh, that's right. So it's just a
Nice.
straight. Does a 14 hit Uther?
No.
Okay, so it's no damage at all for Uther. The ones in front of Soul, so an 18 to hit Soul, I believe hits.
Nope.
Oh, you're at 19. The other one, a 22, you take 5
Yeah.
damage.
All right.
And then the one without advantage rolled a 22 or 7 more.
Ooh.
So these things just hiss and rattle, and every time they hiss, it sounds like wind through the reeds. Bright, it goes to you.
What up? I'm just throwing more fire because fire was super effective. This time it's produce flame off of my own head because that was the only alchemist's fire that I had. I do have a macro for this one.
Okay.
So, hey, I
20.
pulled another 25 at
25 over.
this
Wow.
one.
Absolutely.
Look, yo. 4
Damage
points
of
of fire
4.
damage, please.
So the fire kind of spreads across it, and it's... Anything else?
No.
Okay, Ficus.
I'm gonna have the steel defender move up, though.
Is this the one that has my arrow sticking out of it?
Yes, it is.
Do I have a clear shot of it? The map makes it kind of look.
Yes, you do. It's on this. It's on your side of that tree,
Perfect. I'm gonna shoot at it again.
and it does not know you. Well, what was your stealth? I'm sure it was more than 12.
It was 10.
Oh, it was 10.
And
Oh, well,
that's
it would.
shot more.
It would be its
Oh.
passive anyway, so it's not actively looking for you. So you'd roll.
Okay.
You'd roll with advantage because it doesn't.
Neat. Perfect. I love to hear that.
Yeah, their passive is 9.
23 to hit.
23 will hit.
Good shot.
For 18 damage because he's engaged with one of my companions.
Yes.
Oh.
So the short bow arrow passes through, and it like turns some of the brambles inside out, so it's a much larger hole than your short bow arrow. Uther.
Excellent.
Okay, so Uther is going to look at this one and begin the chant again. And the cultists begin to walk away from Bright. And now they stand side by side with Soul. And he swings.
Go for it.
With advantage.
With advantage.
Oh, nice. 18?
Yep, definitely. And that is more than enough to end this one.
Yep, and now anybody that attacks Soul is doing so at disadvantage.
Sounds good. Do you want to move anywhere else? You good?
I will move here. And he's for the first moment, like there's a little bit of levity to Uther for a second as he walks by Soul and kind of bumps him a little bit. And he gets into fighting position side by side with him.
Irina will, she has her rapier, she kind of takes a couple breaths like she's trying to work herself up for something. And then she runs past Leaf and tries to stab this thing. 19 does hit. and she buries her rapier into it all the way to the hilt. And the thing tries to turn to face her, but it can't. She's like stuck it through the middle of its chest. Leaf.
Please keep yourself out of danger. He's gonna step over just to get a clean shot. Okay, how about a 14 to hit, finally?
14 will hit, yes.
That's 28 damage.
So,
We're so good at this.
Ficus's arrow pulled some of the vines through and left a bigger hole. After your arrow passes through, there's like these leaves that fall to the ground, and you have no clue where it went. It just goes, body just goes flying between Uther and Soul.
And then as a bonus action, I will mark this other one here, the one that sort of got burned, just in case. And I'm going to use the rest. Let's see, that was 5'10". I'm going to use the rest of my movement to like swing over to here.
Sounds good.
Unless this is difficult terrain.
One more step in is difficult, so you're fine.
Okay, cool.
Soul, it's your turn. There's 2 of these things left.
Oh, knock one in the head. Let's see, they're both in front of me, which makes that convenient.
One's on fire, the other one is not.
I shall attack the fire one.
An 11 will not hit. So you try. Your hammer comes down and it just kind of slides out.
That's fine. I'll stay here and stay on guard.
They will. So the one that's on fire will try and not be on fire. It fails. Another D4.
1.
The fire continues to spread across it. It seems unamused by that.
Just a little bit. Little bit of fire.
Both of them try to attack. Well, one tries to attack Uther, the other one tries to attack Soul, and both of them are at disadvantage for completely different reasons. So a 14 on Uther misses, and a 6 on Soul misses.
Right.
That's all they have. Bright.
As the one goes to attack Soul, one of my ancestors just pulls his dagger out, and you can see the souls of one of the creatures he sacrificed come and take the blow for him.
That's so creepy.
And as the other one tried to come at you, it was a clean hit that the
Soul
shield
blocked with his
from
shield.
Soul interposes. Right, go ahead.
Do I have to move to get a shot on this one with Produce Flame?
Nope, go ahead.
Sweet. I'm gonna take that. Because, things that are on fire should continue to be on fire, please.
Nice.
3,
That's
7.
7 points of fire damage.
Your fire finishes consuming it, and it falls to the ground in a pile of ashes.
Hooray. I am going to move closer to Ficus just so that I can keep her safe or something. I don't know. Be around for her. And then I'm going to have my dog just go for this one. So he's going to run over all of the ashes and cinders and stuff, and he's going to take a bite. I forget how to make my dog attack, so I'm going to look that up a second. It's a +4. We're good.
Alright, sounds good.
I need to make a little macro for him. I rolled a 1d0 +4, Simon.
That's
Smart.
That's not good. Well, you rolled a critical 0.
You know what? I don't need that. I rolled a 19. So
19 hits.
23
and
total.
he does 1d8 +2. Hooray! He does 4 points of damage.
So your dog
Nice.
takes a bite out of that one, kind of throws it off balance, and then it is Uther's turn.
Fetch the stick. Fetch the stick, boy.
Wait, whose turn?
Ficus was skipped. Ficus.
Oh, Ficus was. I'm sorry. Yep, sorry, Ficus. Yep, sorry, Ficus.
Break
I got
those
it.
Ficus
Just
on the
as
shoulder.
Bright has creeped up and been by her to protect her, Ficus is going to run into the woods
Okay.
here
Okay.
because she has no difficulty with this terrain,
Nice.
Ayy.
and she's just going to lob a shot at the last standing one.
Sounds good.
Action hide.
Bonus action hide first.
16 hits, and 7 is enough to put it down. Well, 14 is more than enough to put it down.
Nice.
So you kill that last one, and the wind through their greedy bodies kind of it comes to a stop, and there's mostly quiet again, except for the sounds of the forest themselves start to creep back in as it kind of it comes back to normal.
I, like a responsible person in the woods, go and stamp out all of the smoldering piles of ashes to make sure I don't start a fire.
Ficus will also help with that.
Irina pulls her rapier out of the one that she stabbed. I need to learn. She sheathes her rapier.
We all have much to learn.
Yes,
That was
do it
interesting.
safely, please.
Leaf is gonna kind of look through the remains, just for anything unusual.
There's 500 gold in there.
Give me an investigation check.
If you roll a nat 20, can there be 500 gold in there, please? It's not like we can spend it anywhere.
Not yet, anyway. Investigation. I'm actually
There are
trained in
3 villages in this
investigation,
whole
but I rolled
country.
a 6.
You dig through. You end up getting a thorns into your paws as you dig through its remains. You don't find anything of interest at all.
I would
Can
like
I
to
look while I'm
recover
stamping out
half of
forest
my arrows.
fires?
Yep, sounds good. Go ahead.
While everybody's doing all this, Uther just kind of gets to his knees and prays to the blood-covered axe, and he's just gonna say in giant, many more to follow. Many more to follow.
It's 7:15. It's gotten dark. Are you going to press on or stop for the evening?
Somebody had said stop for the evening earlier.
Uther's
Shot it down, I think.
Well, if people think that this area is protected by these thorny guys, and we've cleared them out, it might be a safe spot for us for the night.
or potentially they were the scouts. They were the vanguard.
Yeah,
We should continue moving.
thorny guys were not that much of a threat, so I doubt that anyone would be, noticing if we were here beyond what normally would be here,
Irina, are there regular camping locations along this road? Are you aware?
If we get to the
Travelers
river-
tend to use the same spot for water and such.
Very rarely is there travel outside of the Vistani's protection. There's nowhere to camp, that's for sure.
Interesting.
So we should press on. Good conversation. Uther continues to walk.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean,
make it-
I think Leaf is up for walking at least for another hour or two, since if we're not going to find a campsite, then we'll just go until we're tired and stop there.
So it gets to be 8:15. Traveled another 4 miles. I need another D20.
6.
Ow. Okay, I was just gonna say I'll let somebody else do it.
Are you
I
gonna press
was
on or
ready.
stop?
Hmm?
Press on or stop here?
I don't
Press
know,
on.
does something try to eat us?
Nothing tries to eat you.
Sweet, then I'm good with continuing.
As we press on, Ficus will eventually turn to Irina and be like, if you want to learn about that, I might be able to help you. And points at her rapier. And then, motions that she has one at her side as well.
Nice.
I'll definitely keep my eye on you. You're very good with the bow. Impressive, in fact. Where'd you learn to shoot?
Yeah, she was showing
Well.
me up.
Girls gotta eat.
Makes sense. As you press on one more hour at 9:15, you come up to a crossroad. This is a place that both Irina and Bright are familiar with. It is a gallows that is set at a crossroad between the Zarepool and the village of Barovia. As you approach, the gallows is empty. There is the sound of the creak of a chill wind blowing through the hanging noose. There's
Well, I
high
definitely.
ground.
Oh, sorry.
There's high ground to the west, and a well-worn road splitting. One direction going north, which Bright and Irina know to lead to the Zarepool. Another leading to the southwest. The one to the southwest curves up into the hills before making its way toward Castle Ravenloft and Vallaki. The northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, re-entering the forest. Across from the gallows is a low wall places, partially enclosing a small plot of graves shrouded in
Shrouded in what?
fog. Normal fog, not the green stuff.
You said graves?
Yes.
I'm
Time to
tired.
go grave robbing.
I would like to camp.
I'd
suggest
rather not.
here.
Sleep here. Perhaps
Afraid-
a mile or so down the road.
At least on the high grounds if we are gonna sleep here.
I do need another roll, by the way.
Me. Roll the 6 again.
Okay.
That's
No
good.
problem.
And we're by the gallows, right?
You're basically standing at the foot of the gallows.
Yeah, Uther's gonna go up to them, and he's gonna pray again.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Just giving you a visual. It's fun.
Why? We don't need visuals for this.
At the gallows, he will probably say a prayer, something to, here at the home of many deaths, I call on you again. I was sent out to make my mission. I still sent out my mission to make you my friend. I beg you now, come to me in my time of need.
Is there currently, like, rope hanging from these gallows?
There is, yes.
Take it. No.
Ficus is gonna climb it and take it.
Okay.
He is going to like hold one of the noose away from you and go, this one is mine.
It's just one, so
Oh, there's just the one?
Yep.
Oh.
there's a signpost here, and then there's a single gallows.
Don't. Okay.
What does the
well,
signpost say?
The signpost, the arrow pointing to the north direction says Zarepool. The one to the left, there's actually two signs. One says Ravenloft, and the other is broken on the
Vallaki.
ground, but it's easy to put together to say Vallaki.
Okay. And the one heading back says Barovia.
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 Yeah. I'd really rather not sleep right next to this.
Land isn't
what's-
consecrated. I can't guarantee they won't get back up.
Say it again.
I said this land is not consecrated. I can't guarantee those graves won't get up with us
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, this just doesn't feel right. Let's just go a mile or so up the road.
Ficus and Uther, as you guys climb up the gallows, there is on the trapdoor of the gallows, or not on the trapdoor, on the handle that pulls the trapdoor, there is a hand gripping the handle attached to nothing.
Oh.
I peel the hand off.
Make a strength check. It resists.
14 plus 5. 19.
So as you pull, you feel it. You are not expecting it to have a hold of anything, and as you pull, it stays much harder than it should before the fingers open up and then immediately close again after you pull it off.
You
I
see
just
him
don't look at it really cool, like quick, and be like, "That's pretty cool." And then she's actually, instead of climbing up, she's just gonna like sit there and think for a second, and she's gonna do everything she can to muster Mage Hand.
Yeah.
Legends name that is part of her class features, and she's just gonna like, you know, that kind of face that you have when you're constipated. She's gonna be like squeezing really hard and just thinking on like making a cool hand, and she's going to send the hand that she creates to pull down the noose instead,
Perfectly fine.
rather than risk throwing herself up onto this thing.
This hand manifests and unties the rope and carries it down to you.
That's so cool.
Quick
I'm
question.
so proud of you.
Yes.
Was that a strength check or an athletics check?
Either way, you beat it by 1. So if you want to
Okay.
athletics for the extras, but still, you get the impression that it resisted ridiculously more than it should have. But you did pull enough to pull it off the handle.
Oh, okay, so I have the hand.
You have. Oh yeah. You pull
Okay.
it, and it lets go of the handle, and as soon as it lets go, it like reflexively closes back.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pull the handle.
The trapdoor opens.
Yep. I'm just gonna take a look inside.
Standing on it.
No, I would be on the other side. Obviously.
It's not engineered that way. It's not the person that falls. There's nothing under.
I am going to put this hand in a bag and put the bag in my goods.
Okay. Is the plan?
All right. After I saw him pull
Yep,
the
go ahead.
switch. Oh.
No, go
I
ahead.
was say while they were sitting there making all that noise, I wanted to cast one of my divine senses real quick.
Go ahead. You pop, and you don't pick up any undead.
Okay.
Now, you also know that does not pick up things you cannot see. So if they are completely obscured, for example, buried, your divine sense would not pop them.
Guess we gotta dig up all the graves. I'm kidding. Niffer really wants to grave rob so bad right now.
They were-
It's like, we let them sleep.
But they were hanged. They wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, I thought that would be common knowledge. I don't have to say that.
No, but they could still have cool stuff.
It's possible.
Trust
But
me.
anyway, so
the guy
Leaf
who
is sort
hanged
of
him
like
took it.
inching down the road, kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
are we? Can we?
Is the plan 1 more mile, taking camp here? Either way, we're wrapping up after one scene when you camp. So whether
I
you're
have a
go
lot
to
of
the
things
high
to say
ground.
at camp.
Uther's vote is to camp here.
Of course it is.
Ficus' vote is to camp here at the high ground.
well, you're
they
not
can
at the
just
high
go
ground.
forward.
To the west, it starts to rise.
Yeah, that's the
up.
wrong road. The high
And
ground
then
is
to
the wrong way.
To the north, it goes kind of down toward the Solaire. You're on the middle road, right?
Silver, we have the middle ground. Nope, okay. I'm on a Star Wars podcast. I had to.
What? Yeah, that's right. If Leaf is the only one that is interested in moving on, he'll just begrudgingly.
Bright is trying to
No.
get us to move to.
No, Soul agrees as well.
All right. So
We should let some
So
rest. by
that's
themselves.
3.
Irina
So-
looks at you all and says, It is a bad idea to sleep next to an unmarked graveyard.
Again, I thought this was common knowledge.
And she, and gestures toward Ficus, she needs rest.
Yes.
Yes, I don't suggest we go far, but I'd rather just not bed down right here. Surely you have the strength to walk a mile, Uther. He's
This is
grinning
turning
like,
into one of those toddlers just sitting down and being like, nope, I'm going to be here.
He's just sitting there watching all of you at this point.
He is a grown man. He can watch himself. I start walking.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Leaf would probably do the same. He'd be reluctant to go, but
I do not want to sleep by a grave.
Okay.
yeah, Leaf would not either.
He would say one final prayer and get up.
Uh-huh.
Here, real quick before we go, what do you think it would take to break the handle?
What do you want to handle?
He's just like,
Is that connected to
No,
you?
she doesn't want the handle. She wants to break the use of this contraption, or at least make it very difficult. for
I'll let-
people to
As,
use.
as soon as she asks, Uther just goes, probably this. And swings with his axe.
So, I mean, you guys can break it however you'd like. That's fine.
Yeah, he just-
So, and Ficus will probably walk up and jab something in the gear to actually keep it from falling, just because the broken handle doesn't stop the mechanism from...
Yeah, she could throw a couple ball bearings in there to really just fuck it up.
nice.
Just
So
jam
you
a
guys-
stake in there.
I'm gonna push to the end of this so I can do one last scene before we close and have our little bit of a debrief.
Gonna be more nightmares, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Great.
You guys bed down for the evening. I assume the plan is what it always is now, where Soul keeps an eye out.
Mhm.
I
Ficus will
wanna
also keep her dagger in her hand, just kind of like wrapped up on her chest.
Everybody
would-
has a lovey. Some people's are knives.
I would actually suggest that we do double shifts with Solaire. I think it's a good idea. I feel a little exposed out here on the trail. Feels like two sets of eyes are better than one. Solaire, I respect that you don't require sleep the way we do, but I would certainly feel more comfortable if we each take a turn with Solaire.
That makes
I'll
sense.
take the middle of the night, which I know is the most difficult. If you all will spread yourselves for the rest of the time.
I have plenty to do in the morning, so I can take the mornings, the last watch of the day. Or of the night.
Irina, are you gonna help us with this?
I am more than happy to do my share. I don't expect you to do everything.
Okay, I'm gonna sleep through the whole night.
You deserve it, yes.
That is a good idea, Ficus Fig of the Forest. Thank you, Irina. And then Leaf is gonna like curl up in his little ball that he does and take his first rest.
So we'll do a quick rewind at the end of, or at the beginning of next time. So if you want to do anything during the night, you can. But the resting, and those of you keeping watch notice this for the first time. Those who are asleep do not sleep soundly. They're whispering to themselves. They're whispering. There's kicking. There's rolling. There's grinding teeth. No one is sleeping well at all. But none seem bothered by it. None of you seem to recall it. Except for one. Ficus. You dream. As you sleep, you see yourself resting in a place you've always found comfort. A tree. Legs bound to a branch, you close your eyes, content, ready to enter a deeper sleep. As your senses stretch, you see yourself as others see you, but not the good things. You see only the bad. You feel their smirks as they reach out to ruffle your hair. Their thoughts creep into yours, and disembodied voices start to drift in and out of your hearing. She looks like a child. I wonder if she thinks the whole world smells like ass. How does someone that small eat that much? I've always heard they got hairy feet. Go ask her if she's got hairy feet. With each snide comment, the fog drifting along the forest floor, higher and higher, covering your bound legs with a chill. Stand up! Oh, you are. My mistake. Are all your folks supposed to be that short, or is it just you? I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, little. I think she's angry. How precious. The fog rises to your chest, and the chill begins to feel like claws raking your face. The rising fog suddenly feels like a problem. You reach down to untie your legs, but can't find them. I bet it doesn't hurt when she falls. The ground's too close. Has anybody ever told you what you're tight for? Ever consider lifts in those boots? Keep eating like that and we can use you as a ball. Cold, wet, bony claws rip at your hands while you search. Your fingers grow slippery. The fog rises to your eyes as you lift your chin, desperate to keep it above the mists. She's just so small and cute. Is that a pixie, Daddy? You could fit her in your pocket. Can I help you find Mommy and Daddy, little girl? You feel the ropes but can't grip them. Skeletal fingers pull your eyes open and hook the corners of your mouth. A figure walks towards you atop the fog bank, which now covers all but your face. His sweeping black cape swirls the mist with each step. He stops above you, polished black boots inches from your face. Looking down, he smirks. The mists take. It is naive to think what's special. Nothing. A pest scratching my lawn. There is but one solution. Time comes. He lifts the toe of his boot, presses your face beneath the mist. Unable to move, unable to breathe. Your vision tunnels, focused on nothing but the reshaped figure of. In a moment, he is gone, and after a few agonizing moments more, so are you. You jolt awake in a cold sweat. Too cold. And that's where we'll stop the evening.
I'm just sad.
Oh. Wow.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 7 of Curse of Strahd. We had a little bit of party infighting, some issues amongst ourselves. We are going to spend a few minutes talking about especially a lot of that, because any kind of party infighting we need to stop and talk about in the debrief. And if you want to stick around, feel free. We stream our after stream talks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. This would be the time for any comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, or problems, gang.
I mean, tonight I think this is going to be possibly the best part of the stream, although it's been a pretty amazing stream.
I just want our boy.
Fair.
I said this is gonna derail, and I was not disappointed.
Noir.
So I do want to be the one that brings up the big question. So there was a lot of third resistance at different times within the party. I will be the one to say, how is everyone feeling about resistance, the events? How is that settling with you both as a player? Well, primarily as a player and also character-wise. So, whoever wants to begin.
I want to compliment Noir because I am so thrilled to see your commitment to the character. I was on board the whole time. So
Yeah, like I want to be mad at you, but I also can't be mad at you because, like, no, that's 100%. Like, that's Uther. Good job. You did it, man. I hate that, but I can't hate that.
And see, I have to be mad at you.
I know. That's why when Soul attacked him, I'm like, I'm not gonna fight this. He's got this coming. Uther, I kind of want to describe it in the sense that he came from a tribe that was very religious, and he was not. But he's kind of going about this go meet death thing as like a last wish to his clan because they're not doing too well. And so, he thought he found something better in Barovia. He thought he kind of thought, maybe death isn't the thing that we should be looking towards. Maybe we should be celebrating life. And the second that he started to like really embrace that, it was taken. So he's just like, oh, this is what I get for not being who I was supposed to be. So now let me be who I'm supposed to be. And so, and that's why Donovich had to die. It was like, Donovich kind of was the symbol. It was just like, if you remember, one of the last things that Uther did with Donovich was he tried to learn the prayers of Lathander. And as soon as he even played with that, his son is gone. And it's just like, oh, this is my punishment because the only thing that we're supposed to worship is death. So now I need to bring as much death as quickly as possible to as many people as possible. Because this life thing, this life and light thing, not working. So that's where
I hate that. Like, I love that so much. That's so deep. I respect that so much. You're so cool. Also,
as a
you're
player,
an
I'm like super thrilled with the character choices.
Same.
I mean, like I said earlier during the stream, like it looks like a Dark Night of the Soul kind of moment of like, of all of the group, Uther is absolutely the most attached to the child, right? Whereas we're all, I think, concerned. Uther was emotionally invested, so it made sense to me that he would have the strongest reaction. So I like that a lot, and I'm interested to see where you go with it, like how you move through this whole experience.
Right now, like Uther does everything in terms of extremes. Like there really is no middle ground with him. He either doesn't give a shit or he gives all the shit. And so like he was just kind of interested to fist fight an immortal. So he went all in on this Barovia trip. Like that's kind of the thinking it is. So now, like, what happens when a guy that feels everything to the extreme feels something like this to the extreme? Now, to him, it's not a matter of defeating Strahd. It's a matter of becoming worse than Strahd. It's just like, if these people think that this is what death is, let me show them. Like that's where he is right now.
Interesting.
And then, so I'm also curious about Corndogg. So Ficus being in the room when it happens and seeing an immediate tangible effect. There's been, kind of the Ficus and Uther romance over food. Um, where are you seeing Ficus at, who has dealing with a lot of stuff now?
So, being completely honest, Ficus was planning on leaving after she went down for the second time. She was like, I'm the only one that's gone down twice. Like, I am not worth it. This is bullshit. And if you hadn't actually taken the baby away, she would have walked away. But now she feels like she has to help Uther recover this baby so she can take back any dignity for herself, because she's the reason why he came downstairs. She's the reason why he left. Like, he was up there with his baby. The baby was safe. She's who called for help. No one else in the room did. And so she feels like...
I thought Leaf did. What I recall is Leaf yelling at the top of his lungs for Uther to get his butt down there.
This is one of those, all of us think we were the only ones that did.
Well, I think
all of us blame
Ficus went unconscious. Ficus was just like, help.
Yeah.
Ficus asked for the dying breath spell.
Oh, that's right.
The out of the scope of rules narrative dying breath spell.
Message.
Yeah. I mean, and to Ficus's credit, and I'll give her this, she's the reason that he didn't try and kill the party. He was once
she cried and he was like, I'm done raging, and I'm like, oh my
once God. She got in, once she kind of everybody was holding him back, and the more they held him back, the angrier he was getting. And it very much went through his head that nobody leaves this chapel alive. Like, that's where he was for a time. And then I think the thing that bothers him the most is that he's blaming himself, and that the people he was talking to was also blaming him. So it was a perpetual thing of oh, they're feeding the fire, and they're literally all the good stuff about Uther was being stripped away every time. They're just like, well, what about you? But Ficus was kind of the only one to go, no, this is on me. I did this. I am so sorry. And that was enough for him to go, I remember them enough to not want to kill them. And I'll get Arena when they're not looking.
Okay, so you're not going on watch.
Solaire just needs to be on guard in and outside the camp during that watch.
Absolutely, I'm telling you guys right now, one of his top goals, here they go. Rescue Tobias. Defeat Strahd. Kill Arena. And those last two might be interchangeable.
So this is a big one for me to deal with. And this might be, so the only member of the party who has been charmed is Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one in canon who's been charmed. And there is, so just speaking very meta for a second, there are a lot of issues with the entire enchantment school of magic in D&D.
And for sure.
Trying to skirt some of this, and even the language that I try and use, I'm trying to skirt around. I very intentionally didn't have Irina say the word force to me, that phrase. And I had to dance around, and I might have slipped up. I'm going to have to listen when I listen back through everything.
Mm.
But there is, when you put magic into a situation like this, how do you help Uther, who doesn't see that she was forced to do something, see that?
Yeah.
Because that's, and I'm trying to make it, yes, so Irina's pissed off because you came up pissed off. But she's very much a victim in this that is now being punished by Uther as well. And so I think that's an element that could really be explored at some point.
Definitely. Well, for me, so Leaf, I think Leaf's thinking at the moment it all went down was, Uther is really rightfully upset. Like, he's maybe overreacting a touch, but that's just who he is, and it's okay. And I think if Leaf sees that attitude goes forward into the future, almost like it's like he's locked into that thinking or something, then probably Leaf will want to try to help him see that maybe Irina's not really to blame in this, and that really all of our anger and attention should be on Lord Strahd. But I think in the moment, like right now where he's at, is like, oh, Uther's just pissed off. He needs time to see things clearly.
See, if that's the really scary thing right now about Uther, is that he's actually no longer angry. And I kind of wanted to have that showed even in how he's fighting. Like, the thing is, Uther, as you knew him, kind of got off on anger. It was just like, it was fun to be angry and swing wildly and everything. That's why he not once attacked recklessly. Not once. Because now he's in a very militant and structured mindset because it's what he grew up with. Like, everything else, it was just like him kind of doing shit on the fly. Like, I came from this, but I kind of do my own thing. Now he's relying on what he grew up with, and I intended. So I had a character path for Uther, and it kind of skirted. It kind of changed a little bit, but now it's made a hard right back into where I originally had him, and pretty soon he's probably gonna start taking cleric levels in the death domain.
Yeah. Can't wait.
And once that happens, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a fucking problem.
I have like one conversation that I want to have with Uther, because it'll be really interesting to see like we've had the talk before of like you're very oriented on like the individual, what can I do to earn this stuff? And then I'm very like, no, you just take care of everybody regardless. And I really just want to have that conversation again now that you're just like, oh, well, screw all them. Like, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I mean, he's measuring his worth by his kills now.
Yeah.
Rob,
Well,
like
fair. He's a barbarian.
Yeah. I would say I think we all want to have a conversation with Uther, because I guess I honestly knew that he prayed to death, but I didn't think it would come into direct conflict like this.
Oh no.
And it's funny, I am praising this cat. I am like, but I don't think anybody just realized like he just literally came into direct conflict with my entire upbringing.
Oh yeah.
Like
100%.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here like, I just promised to protect this woman. I literally said 2 seconds before he murdered the priest that, yeah, if we didn't get you out there, he would have killed you. 2 seconds later, kill somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, so it's funny because I still want to sit down and talk to you, even though, like, so upset at you because I'm so.
We all have one-on-ones. Don't plan anything for next session and just let us talk.
It's gonna be full
It
on
might
RP
be one of
the
those
whole
nights.
time.
It might be one of those nights. Half the night.
It's kind of fucked up, but in his culture, what he said to Soul was literally like it was a good thing based on how he was raised. I understand the person
super,
that
like,
I
Klingon,
understand
right?
the person that I killed meant something to you. So here's my gift to you. They died well. Like that's like hey, we're cool still, right? Like I mean, like, because in his mind, there is no situation where Donovich does not die. I needed to pray. I can't talk to death having not offered him anything specifically for him.
And if you haven't noticed, the priest and I come from a religion that doesn't start prayer with murdering innocent people.
I don't know many religions that start prayers with murder.
It's not a religion. It's a tribal belief. It's
Exactly.
fucked up.
Yeah, so it's like, so that's gonna be fun coming into terms with.
Yeah.
Going.
We will have to have many interventions.
I can't wait. It needs to be just all RP.
It will
really
be
does.
so
Rethink
there
your
will
party
be,
fight rules.
Well, I don't do non-consensual
Fighting.
party infighting.
Okay.
I was low-key upset that Noir did not throw hands at me. Like, I was like bracing myself for it. I'm like, okay, here it comes, and it didn't. I was a little bit sad.
He was furious, but he's not blind. Like, the thing is, I think you all expected him to get blindingly angry, and it's the exact opposite. It's just like, I need to revert back to what I was raised to be.
Mm-hmm.
Corndogg, you were going to say something.
I think, like, as a player, I enjoyed watching Solaire start to emote. Because, like, we've all been faced with this robot who, like, says some prayers sometimes, and is, like, very, like, monotone in their delivery. And, like, watching him just punch Uther in the face, like, as a player, I was like, fuck yeah! Because it's, like, in order to punch someone that you work with or a colleague with in any type of manner in the face, like, that takes a lot of rage and a lot of aggression. And to, like, watch it happen as a player, I was like, it's fun because we know that Solaire is only, like, a couple weeks old in the grand scheme of the world.
Yeah.
I think he's 3 years old. Is that what we drop? You're 3? I think that's what he and I said. So yeah, he's not very old.
Yeah, and it's like all of his interactions were within a church, and now he's dealing with 4 very weird beings, and like watching Solaire learn from his shared experience with them and kind of grow like very quickly has been fun as a player. So like that when that happened in the episode, I was like, yes, this is my favorite part right now because it's just
It was a very human moment for Solaire, which is cool.
I wouldn't even call it human so much as traumatizing. So
is that kind of the same?
Is that not human?
Yeah, so that's not what you want to know at 4, but okay. I'm just imagine you walk back. Everyone was alive when you left. You leave 20 minutes, and
you're literally that gift from Community. You're walking in with pizzas, and
yeah,
the whole room's on fire, and people are dead.
That's exactly how the church looked when he walked back in, because it's beyond. He can't fix anything, and that was even like the worst part. It's like literally this man came. I mean, who basically you consider a friend or a friend at this point, because I'm easily to get along with. And you walk out, and he basically desecrated one of your temples. I mean, we didn't even start on that.
Not basically. That's
he did that shit.
So the
desecrated
players,
a temple of life.
So the theme of this is bringing light into the darkness, and that act very much so took some light away, which is something else to deal with.
I'm like, it's going to come back and bite us. I feel it. It's going to be a part. We're going to fight a bunch of stuff. We will have a nice consecrated temple, but someone had to murder the guy who consecrated it.
Well, so something that's probably going to happen, and And this is not foreshadowing or anything else. This is just at this point it has to happen.
Yeah, it's trope now.
At some point, Strahd is going to have to absolutely kick Uther's ass. Because right now, Uther doesn't stand a chance. Right now, if Strahd squared up, it's a party wipe.
He'd be like,
And,
we need
and Uther keeps thumbing his nose at Strahd over and over and over again, in person, face to face. Every encounter, Uther has thumbed his nose at Strahd. And the threat that he made to Irina, I do have rules for how. Yes, Strahd can see a lot of things, but he's not omnipresent.
Right.
So there is the possibility of Uther's rage toward Irina to get back to Strahd.
Hence why I was body blocking.
And then there's the decision to, what would be honestly, if you had decided to kill Irina, would probably be having a conversation of how do we deal with you guys either trading Uther or having and that's something that I think, so from the DM chair, and as I'm thinking how to address the turn that you're taking as a player, it's how do I help you understand that Irina and Ismark calling you were right.
Calling what? You cut out.
Calling Uther a fool. They're the ones that are right. He's trying to stand up by himself against something that's bigger than an entire country and telling them they're too weak to face it.
Yeah. So I, as a player during that moment, was when they said that, I wanted Leaf to sort of basically agree with them, but it didn't feel like the right sort of energy or time for that. So yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like if I think if Leaf sees Uther in this state and continuing to make these like ridiculous decisions, I mean what he perceives as ridiculous, let's say, obviously for Uther they're perfectly the right thing to do, of course. So from Leaf's perspective, I think when he sees them, if he sees them continuing, that would be when he would be like, what kind of person thinks that they can face a god and win, or face a dragon and win without the help of others? Like why do you think you're invincible? Or try to see, have these kind of a conversation with him. But I don't know if it'll even come to that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's very, and if he needs to tone it down, let me know. But I think one of the things that's inherently kind of misunderstood about him is that everybody's just like, if you do this thing, you'll die, and he keeps
and that
going.
Makes you want to do it.
No, he keeps going. What is so bad about dying? Like it just doesn't register to him. It's just like,
and no, and I think Leaf has a good respect for. So if it's not already very apparent, the way I'm trying to play Leaf is that his spiritual belief or his god or whatever is like, he respects the natural order above all things, right? So that's why for him the undead are an abomination, because they're like absolutely 100% unnatural. So Uther like having this visceral response in Leaf's mind is like a very natural response. Someone you care about was just like taken away or put in harm's way or whatever. Of course you're going to react strongly to that. So that's for him for now, that's sort of a natural response. And even lashing out at Father Donovich to a degree, because Leaf wasn't there necessarily, so he doesn't know the whole full story of what just went down. So like, so it's going to be interesting. I think a lot more needs to sort of happen within the party, like whether it's people having conversation, like if Solaire or Bright ends up talking, or even Ficus ends up directly talking with Uther. But for sure for Leaf at this point, he feels like yeah, okay, everything's as it should be.
Like, I mean, part of me honestly expected Uther to kind of die this episode. In the sense that I spent the last couple weeks trying to kind of figure it out, like how would he react to this? And I knew that he was gonna fall back on his upbringing. I knew he was gonna fall back onto the traditions of the clan. I did not. I didn't expect. I didn't expect Ficus. Honestly, I kind of expected him to kind of wild out, and what's kept him in any little bit of reasonableness. It was that interaction, because Uther does not know about Arena. Like, he does not know that Strahd is the obsessed or whatever with her. To him, she is somebody that he gave the most precious thing in the world to, and said, "Give me 5 minutes," and she couldn't do it. She is the person, like, in her brother was the guy that he was just like, "You stay with her and give me 5 minutes," and they didn't. And so, like, in his head, it's just, you failed the clan, and when you fail in the clan, there is a price to be paid. It's just cut and dry. So it's just like, I kind of expect to start to pop up and just like, well, this guy's gotta go.
I think if you had made the choice to attack either Irina or Ismark in the church, like when we were all there in the church, that would have probably put us to where we had to like subdue or try to subdue Uther somehow. I think that's how Leaf would have responded, I think.
Yeah.
So as far as, you'd asked if you're going too far to let you know. For me, as long as the party is okay with how far you're going, I can deal with it. I knew that I was going to have to try to refocus Uther's rage, but he wasn't having it, like in the slightest. I thought I thought trying to get Uther to see Irina as a victim of Strahd as much as Tobias is now a victim of Strahd, that he would sympathize rather than rage out.
Sure.
But that wasn't something that clicked, and so that was kind of my plan A for refocusing. And plan B was along the lines of, okay, well, it's not a matter of running into the woods and chasing someone down. They used magic to get away, so now you need a way to find them because you have no way to find them. So she becomes, okay, let's go talk to Mother Eva, who can find, who can see, who can understand, who can help. And even that was kind of falling on deaf ears. And I was kind of sitting in the DM chair going, well, how do I refocus this then? So kind of the only like pressure of, is it too much, is this question of, is it going to, what would lead to no possible choice but for Strahd to simply stomp on Uther. And the thing is, Uther doesn't matter to Strahd right now. And I think that that's something that Uther would not take well.
So the thing that Uther reacts to, and I think he showed this a few times, and the reason that Arena was only fueling his fire is in his culture, it's very much you hold your weight. And if you don't hold your weight, you acknowledge that you don't hold your weight. And
first thing she did was apologize.
She apologized, and he still had to let that out.
Yeah.
But as soon as he let it out, it was well, but this, and then as soon as it was but this, it was like a cycle. Like,
yeah, and she was. I mean, I would imagine, like, if I try to, I'm not exactly sure how you're playing it, Noir, but I imagine if I put myself in Uther's shoes, I would be seeing Irina as like the epitome of weakness, and like you know, to me that as Uther, I could see Uther being like, yeah. You represent everything I stand against right now in the moment. Like, he might eventually come around to some other perspective, but in that moment, there was no way he could see it that way.
Yeah, so I in my head, I was comparing this moment to when Bright went down. And so the difference being, when Bright went down, it was like I fucked up, which, yeah, you did, but it was my fault for giving you the kid. But at no point did Bright ever go, but you shouldn't have gave me the kid. And so that's why, like, even when he was kind of like at Bright, it was like but I did this. I think him going in his head, I did this, I gave the kid to Irina, and then Irina also going, you gave the kid to me, and then the brother going, and you gave the kid to me. It was just like I did this, this is my fault, everybody's gotta die. Like, it's an unhealthy cycle. He's an unhealthy dude.
Well, there's another level of it too, I think, where it's like, from my perspective, Uther is this very forthright individual. He is honest, maybe to a fault, right? Whereas they were very guarded and maybe even dishonest in the sense of, again, like, when you press them, like, they didn't give you the information you felt like you needed to make a decision. That's amazing, dude. The whole night I was like, wow, this guy's incredible. Because I was just shocked at how well you played the whole scene.
So the thing that is, the blaming Uther, as Uther was spiraling, to people that have spent their entire lives suffering under an unimaginable evil, his complaint sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why I was quiet the whole time, because it's like, well, they're both kind of right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because with Irina and Ismark, they literally just lost their father the same moment you showed up in Barovia, for no reason other than Strahd tormenting people in the village.
Yeah.
The level of death and despair is, the evilness of Death House that you guys witnessed firsthand is just a piece of what Barovia goes through every day. And so for them, they are looking at these people that just showed up that Irina hoped was going to come in and help them. She wants to learn. She wants to see what it takes to do this. And she never really got the chance to articulate that because the new guy on the block is upset that something bad happened to them. And she's like, welcome to a Tuesday. It's from her perspective, it's like, what? I mean,
yeah, and that's crazy because it's just like, I think this next sentence kind of puts that moment into perfect clarity, so you can kind of see where this argument, like, where their deep-seated, like, misunderstanding of each other came from, which is, this bad thing happened, it's a Tuesday, and to him it's like, they lost my son. Like, so it's it's not some bad thing, it's the bad thing. And so, honestly, if Uther died, he doesn't care. Like, if everybody he knows dies, he doesn't care. It's not like, if Tobias died, it would be bad, but he would be, Tobias would be in the hands of his friend. It's the fact that he doesn't know. They couldn't even give him that. They couldn't, yeah, so it's just, it's ugly.
So I think that we're at a pretty good place to start wrapping up. A lot went on tonight. Appreciate everybody so much. I'm terrible at giving out inspiration in the middle of the game, but there's so many times where I just be like, yeah, just take inspiration. It just feels like such a break from stuff going on. So if you guys don't have inspiration, Mark, everybody has done something this session to earn it.
Hell yeah.
So take inspiration for when you need it at some point.
I think Ficus deserved 2 because
Ficus
the moment
so
the moment in when
The
she
moment Ficus
took-
grabbed his hand, I knew I was saved from trying to deal with Uther.
Yeah.
It was the
When that-
MVP
Fixed
moment of
everything.
moving like the plot forward in a way that didn't result in
No
an
joke.
awful-
When that scene happened, when you decided to do that, Corndogg, literally, this is the thought in my head. I'm like, this is the best game I've ever been in. It was so awesome.
And very true to her character. He didn't see it coming. He did not calculate for that at
Take
all.
it back to the feels.
If you
Way to
go
go,
back and watch the video, you can see where like I started to cry, just like the slightest bit, because like I knew what Ficus had to say, and it was just like waiting for the moment. And then I was like, "Don't cry while you're talking." And then as I like thought back, but I was like, "Dummy, you should have cried while you were talking." Uther was yelling for like 10 minutes.
It
Like,
was
you should've
so
cried
good.
and let it happen on stream. But it was like it was all like 3 minutes of me just going. Like hyped myself up to like say something because as he was yelling, as he was getting
I
mad, it
loved
was
when you
just-
healed the altar too. That was brilliant.
It took
I
us
looked it
7
up.
sessions to cry.
It only lasts for an hour.
Oh no.
Oh,
So
well, Ficus
as soon-
feels better about herself.
Yeah.
we tried.
And the thing is, we don't have a cleric, so we don't even have access to Hallow. So right now,
Yeah.
we have no way to go back
Yeah.
and mechanically. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mechanically,
why-
right now.
Which is why I said what I did with the consecration. It's why I'm calling it consecration instead of hollow too. There's
Right.
that. Strictly speaking,
Right.
you can't fix it, but I'll let you roll.
Solaire's
I-
prayer was awesome.
Yes, it was a great prayer.
Yeah,
to read.
that's
I
what I
hope we
needed.
get more of those.
You're still muted, Rob.
I'm very excited.
You're still muted, Rob.
You're muted. You're muted.
You hit mute on Discord.
You're
On
muted on
Discord, buddy.
Apologies. Too many mute
Don't worry.
buttons.
We'll get it
Yeah.
sometime.
I was saying it was funny because I was like, I'm gonna end up being that guy who prays over every dead body we run into.
Good.
So I had to actually
Please.
I did some legit research on Lathander prayer so it doesn't get boring. I'm saying the same thing every 5 feet.
You're
So-
so good. Honestly, that's better than me, who's gonna try and loot everybody that we find. So look, Bright is a tinkerer. They are not using things. Therefore, it is fair game. I get to loot anybody I want.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
the-
I've noticed that you literally looted the gallows.
Yeah, the looting of the gallows kind of took me by surprise, but it let me give you a magic item I wanted to give you anyway. Uther, in the general chat, there's the hand of holding.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
had
what-
actually planned on using the rope and pouring oil on it and then burning the gallows.
You want a Molotov
Because-
cocktail this?
Well, I was just like, fuck this thing. Like,
Like the hand of
fuck
holding. What am
capital
I missing here?
punishment. Like,
Just
I
for
hate
all
all
the-
of it.
General.
So we're all getting magic stuff. I want to know because I meant to say it earlier when the game started, but it went very
Oh.
sideways very fast. I wanted to know if I could get the chain that we killed the vampire with.
Yeah, I'm fine with you having pocketed. It's fine.
Cool.
Side note, just so chat knows, there is a warhorse on my robe.
There is a warhorse on the
Oh.
robe. And do take a look at the rules of that robe. I made it so you can put
I
stuff
am.
back on, but it does expend spell slots to do it.
Trust me, I already read it. I have plans. I have
So-
1 spell slot left today, so
Oh boy.
so
Sorry,
I'm gonna do some things.
I just read the hand of holding.
Yeah.
There you go. It's basically a slightly weaker immobile rod, or immovable rod. 2 quick things I
I
intended
vote
to.
we yeet it at Strahd. Throwing the alchemist fire worked great. We just need to throw the hand.
As far as combat stuff went, I kind of just hand waved it. There wasn't a lot of combat to have this session at all. Everybody cool with that? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to
Yeah.
have
That's
combat
fine.
every
This is a
session.
role playing server.
So I just
We're
wanted to
here for the
clarify that.
feels.
The second thing is Corndogg, fine with nightmare stuff. I
Oh, yeah.
pushed a few of those a little than I would otherwise, but
That was
Yep.
so perfect for timing of her just being like, I'm not worth being in this party, and then you just coming at her with literally insult after insult of you aren't enough.
Huh?
Like, I hated that for her.
I am.
I am excited for her to wake up from this dream.
yep.
Yes.
So you've got 2 weeks to figure out how she wakes up. And then if you guys want to do any chit-chatting while you're on watch at different times, you can think about that because we'll
I have
start.
several
Yeah.
things to chat about, just PSA.
So sort that out. If you want to plan stuff, go ahead. Try not, like, if all 5 of you plan a conversation with all 4 of them, I mean, we'll have a camp episode. But
Yes.
Ficus is
Camping.
going to be asleep the whole night, so
I
Ficus is-
do want to get you guys your reading for it, because one of the big things for Curse of Strahd, plot-wise, is getting the reading for Mother Eva.
Absolutely.
So I do want to make
Can't
sure
wait.
we get that done next week or next session. Otherwise, we'll be going 50 deep, and I don't think that, you know, as much fun as I'm having, I don't know if 50 deep's the direction to go. So, because right now we started out on track for probably 25 deep, and now we're at like 35 deep, probably, depending on how other parts play out. Which I mean, that's just, you know, it is the
level does Curse of Strahd go up to? Like, potential-wise.
Considering the
11.
dysfunction of this group right now,
Yeah, we're going to
I
be
would-
grinding for a very long time.
Yeah, we're not the. Let's move this story. We're not on the railroad at all.
That's fine, and I am perfectly okay with that as long as everyone's okay with that. So that's all kind of the, you know, there's that golden
I'm
goose
so
of
okay with it.
we don't want to not finish a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the only thing to keep in the back of our heads is, you know, is that element. So, well, we have gone
all this.
quite deep. I had an absolute blast. You all are absolutely amazing.
I'm so mad, but I can't be mad about it
Why not?
because it was too good.
So enjoy. Right now, the channel is 3 away from affiliate. So if you guys know anybody that hasn't,
Make sure you
tossed a
follow.
heart my way, pop us. I do have that giveaway going, which grabbed another like 10 people just today, and it was a little unclear at the front end what you're supposed to do.
Thanks to Dead Flower Girl.
Yes,
Woo!
and big thanks to
recent
Dead Flower
Welcome.
Girl.
follow.
Yep, and they've been hanging out, and that's awesome. Also, I suppose that is everything. So until we get together 2 weeks from now, which will be in September, September the number, September the 9th
9.
is our next game. Until we see you then, be good.
Oh, I should probably
Bye.
fix the date then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't hit the turn off button anymore, so I don't know where we're off.
Do your thing. Do your thing, and then I'll change it over to the see you next
Oh,
time.
that's the end of my thing. Just be good
Good.
next time.
Come on, Gregory. Have you not been here for the past couple
Alright,
days?
alright,
Give me
alright.
back my sword.
See you next time, friends.
Bye.